It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
This ain't loud enough, I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough, I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough, I'm still trying. I just left a light in this bitch. Fuck up, move the fuck. Hey, where are the white women at?
Well, gotta get a piece of my.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Huh, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
Your feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway. But I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
My eye. Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Hey, dance with me. Oh, yeah.
You're a...
Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you...
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me, want it.
I don't mean to be out of line, to be rude, to be rude, to be rude. I don't mean
snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah. Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd. I think we OD'd.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black.
My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard.
That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you're doing
the styles on, doing the styles on them like it's coming.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loop juice and pulls up in the deuce. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I'm coming. I hit the loop juice and pulls up in the deuce. I hit.
Like I said, you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode, because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Lean and buck, lean and buck, lean and buck, lean buck.
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean. Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
Don't touch.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. I guess that's my motherfucking cue to come on in. Coming back from the holidays, and I'm still a newlywed, so all that's still going on. This is where I'm gonna start. Oh, no. Let me write it down so I won't forget. Because I'm an old motherfucker, and y'all forget. But anyway, you guys know how I do. Can you take a guess what's in here? As I slowly pull it out. And it's still cold. Oh, it's cold. But you don't have to guess, and you don't have to be in suspense, because you know me. And what do? I drank the very best Great Lakes Alien Nest, the finest nectar in the beer world. So y'all join me that are able, pop them if you got them. kicking this motherfucker's ass. And you know me, I have the barrel, Killian's red glass. And as I pour this beautiful aroma, we do have to mention that I am looking very golden. And you look at this and you think, why can't I be sitting there looking stiff, wearing the polo gold? And Michigan won today. So you wish you could be me right now and be a winner like Michigan is going to be. Wishing Michigan is going to win it all. And you're sitting there and you don't go for Michigan. So you can't celebrate their victory. I better not wake my daughter up by yelling. So yeah, I had to get that in. Oh, I didn't even put up my protection. Damn, what am I doing? Are they at ones here so I can keep that one there? Damn. Forget. All right, got that out the way. So, you know, I won about so much big ones. I had to put it on the money. And it's funny, my daughter wants to go to Ohio State. She's like, can't tell my dad I want to go to Ohio State. So she was disappointed. She was disappointed. Oh. Now, you know I'm doing the gummies, the herb gummies. But I end up getting this motherfucker. And I think last time I was on here, I'd lost this motherfucker. But this is sour apple killer. And this shit is like 85% THC. So y'all know, smoke them. I don't even think the plastic's been ripped off the shit. Smoke them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. Yeah. So that's what we doing. And so Michigan was triumphant. So that means I am triumphant. You know how that shit go. Where the other ball at? Yeah, where the other ball must have fell. That's all right. So Michigan was triumphant today. And, you know, Michigan is probably going to win the national championship. I think that's what the deal with all this suspensions and shit. Because the first suspension, the rules is legal now. Just like they hit Tennessee, the first suspension they gave him early in the season, it's legal to do what they did then. So, you know, all of it's bullshit. You know, and the sign stealing thing, I've said this the other night. The sign stealing thing is a group of all them got together. And they all said, well, this is what we do in signs. What do you guys do? And a group of several colleges, assistant coaches got together, and this is what they said. This is kind of what we do. So this is no secret. So it's all bullshit, but it might be bullshit so that Michigan can win it all. So Michigan can win it all. So it was a great game. The touchdown was a touchdown with the receiver. All you got to do is break the plane. You know, it's different than a first down. First down, you've got to get past the marker. I did a game in a country town. It was so damn dark. And like this had to be 01 or 02. So I don't even think the phones had flashlights. It was so dark because it was like I was in the middle of a cornfield, and this is Quaker area. This is southern Michigan, Indiana. We're on the southern team that came from Indiana. This is how southern Michigan we are. This is Mennonite area. There was a football field in the middle of a cornfield, and it only had lights on one end. And I had to do a first down measurement on the other end. And it was really too dark for me to tell. So I didn't give him the first down. I mean, it was super dark on the one end. They was playing with one light on one end. So the other end, you couldn't really tell. So in the end zone, you have to just break the plane. So the moment you possess the ball and you touch it, because remember, a touchdown. Rugby, you have to just touch it in the end zone. So the moment you break the plane in rugby, you guys actually have to touch down. Football, you just got to break the plane. That means you can even go out of bounds. But long as you're going over that blind plane, it's a good play. So Michigan thoroughly whooped their ass. We did lose a good lineman, but the dude who came in was good. So go blue, hail to the victors. Where else should I go? Let me welcome everybody in before I go with it. Let me welcome. Yeah. Let's. Oh, can I do this? Let's try to do this. I might be able to do it. So, PJ Allen, what's happening? And I know he always controls his my bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What? And I know he definitely has. You got to have vision. And he definitely can jam on the Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump. But one thing you can never do is don't touch my truck. Don't touch my. That's right. Don't touch my truck. And we got Jamar 3224. What's happening? And definitely you. Got to have vision. And on the Galactic Patio, you know we only do one dance. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump. But you can't. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck, baby. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. And we've got El Dragon Amaroon Khan. What is happening? And I know you got to have vision. And I know you only come up this late to get on the cosmic patio and just sing. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump. And remember, don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck, baby. Don't touch it. Oh, woke, what's happening? And I know you definitely got to have vision. And you up here, you got to get down on the cosmic patio. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump. But remember, never. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck, baby. Oh. All right, well, let me see. What's up? Oh, thank you. Very kind words. Getting rid of that coach will be a start. Yeah, Ohio State, that coach is in trouble. He's lost 3 years in a row. Yeah, he's definitely in trouble. That coach, Ohio State, hey, it wouldn't be crazy to think Ohio State and Dion. Don't think that's crazy. Ohio State and Dion, if they fire him, I would say Dion would rather have that job than where he's at. They got more bread over there. Remember, those of you that been to Columbus, it's a city. Ohio State is a city. Michigan State is East Lansing. Ohio State is Columbus. So, they got a bunch of bread. That's one of the biggest campuses. I think Ohio State is the biggest campus as far as student buildings and shit. I think it's Ohio State. Could be wrong. Who you got winning? I don't know. It's kind of too early to tell. Right now, I'm surprised that they eliminated Wemby out of the NBA tournament. Is the Nuggets eliminated too? Because the Nuggets lost the other night, so they might be eliminated. But I know Wemby got eliminated, which I'm surprised. I thought they was gonna make him. But Chet is hooping. So OKC, they lost tonight too, though, I think. So that's too early to really tell. I want to see how this tournament's gonna play out. So it's too early to tell. I don't know. Were black people the first people on earth? It's a couple great books on that. And these books are costly, but it's a deep study you can find about melanin and how melanin is found throughout the universe. So from a creation standpoint, you would want to create beings that could feed into the melanin. I mean, that just makes sense. I'm going to copy a little bit of Dr. Valentine's works when he talk about the first kind of people. And it's a mixture between what Paneri says and what Dr. Valentine says. We were different vibration of beings that had melanin. And again, remember, if you look at the rainbow is melanin. I mean, you understand that, don't you? If you've never heard that before. Those are shades of melanin. And so, the early people probably looked more like the rainbow because, again, creation comes with a couple different things. Creation comes, the colors. The colors bring about the sound, and the sound seems to turn into creation. But you have color that pushes creation too. And maybe it's sound and then color. I forget. I got to study the Time Walking Papers a little more to be precise about that. But those are parts of, sound and color are parts of creation.
So and again, you want to do a deep study of melanin. This book's out there that you can do a deep study of melanin. So and that's where it comes from. Fear of the Black Planet. Like there's gonna make another movie about Planet of the Apes, and you have to understand the apes are the Europeans. I mean, people don't get that. People are like, oh, the apes. No. The apes are the Europeans that took over. Even though the beings that they took over from had all the technology at the time, they show you what happened to this world. Don't you understand that? When you look at the Planet of the Apes is the Europeans. It ain't niggas, it's the Europeans. The apes is the Europeans, and the Europeans show how they were able to conquer a more civilized, better technology people. So that's all. But again, melanin comes in all flavors and all different colors. So to say was it just black motherfuckers? Now, I've said this before, and I've said this many times. And one of my creations, again, when the Monkey King woke up and the Monkey King found out that he had to start create, everybody died that imprisoned him. And so when he came out of it, his conscience came and he had to recreate society himself. And all those beings that came out, born from the cave, me including, all of them was just black blobs. And I wouldn't even say humanoid. Yeah, I guess humanoid to the body, but no faces and nothing like that. It was just black blobs with arms and legs. And so again, this shows the melanin. But again, we travel through this. We go in the cave. We come out the cave in this society. And so is everybody jet black? No, it's different. It's like it's always is. It's different complexions. So I got a pen and some lemon mist wax dab. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Who deserves everyone in college football Final Four? Who does everyone have? I definitely, I don't know that we kick Michigan State out. Right now we got Georgia. We got Florida State. Did Florida State hang on? Because they was losing. But we got Georgia. Michigan is going to go to number 2. Washington's going to step up to number 3. Who's number 4? And I don't know that we can knock Ohio State out of number 4, other than the people don't want to see Michigan play Ohio State again. So that's going to be who's number 4. Who's number 4 right now? So that's going to be interesting who they put in that spot. So I got that 3. I don't know that I knock Ohio State out of 4. But we got a bunch of teams, what, 9-1, 10-1? We got a bunch of teams. Alabama 10-1. So do we put Alabama in number 4? So I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Michigan plays Iowa next week, which they're gonna kick Iowa's ass. Who does everyone have? Reef and rapping in the dark. I'm about to eat this Delta 9 cookies. Nice. I eat those. I'm gonna tell you though, since I got this pen, and she said she'd get some more, because this is out of California. Now not it could be sold in probably what you call it, Denver too. This stuff is gonna start coming here in 25. It really looks like. But yeah, wherever this came from, I ain't been eating really the gummies. I ain't really been eating them. I've been eating this shit. I got Michigan and Georgia making it. I don't know about the other 2 teams. Yeah, I think that's who's gonna square off in the finals. I think Michigan and Georgia is gonna square off into the finals, and I think they're gonna let Michigan win. I really think they're gonna let Michigan win. But remember, the last time, or this could be the scenario too. Michigan, Washington, which were co-champions, 97? They were co-champions. Remember UPI, AP&P or APP or something like that? Co-champions. And that's the only championship Michigan has won since the 20s, 30s, so. So that's why they're pushing the gay agenda, melanated, emasculated, melanated men. Yeah, again, I'll say Washington is 4 right now. Yeah, Washington is 4, but with Ohio State losing, Washington's gonna move up to 3. Yeah, Washington's gonna move up to 3. So with them losing, Washington is definitely gonna be in the 3rd position. So that's what I could see in the finals, Michigan, and then to see who was really champ that year. Who was really champ that year? That I could see that. I could see that happening. But it was fun watching the game because my daughter's serious. My daughter got the grades and everything, to go to Ohio State, So she was mad. She wants to. Then her mother writes me, "Is there anywhere I can get Ohio State jersey?" I'm like, "Yes, in hell, you can get one in hell. There's plenty down there." She's like, "Oh," I was like, "No, I really haven't ran into any." I say, "If I do, and I'm gonna tell you, Black Friday was crazy up here. Like people did what they did years ago when they was camping out and shit." Um, I went to see Napoleon last night, and we went by the Mall of America because I need to go to the Mall of America, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to go Black Friday or not. Now think of the Mall of America. On two sides of it are parking ramps that have 5 floors. The top floor, when you're in the top floor, you're outside. The other ones are all you're inside, but parking ramp. And we went by, and it was cars like packed in there, packed going up to park on top of the garage. So yeah, I didn't fuck around. So there was probably, it wouldn't be a surprising 200,000 people at the Mall of America yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised. All the malls was packed. I live by a little mall. It was packed. And so we got, I don't know if I can pull the pictures up. Let's see. But we got these, I don't know if I can pull the pictures up. But yeah, we got, we bought a recliner a couple weeks ago from the money we got from getting married. We bought cash. We just went in there and got this recliner. The recliner was $1,000. We got it for 300 and something. And this motherfucker, it's got the headrest and everything. It's very modern looking. And we went and got another one. And I said, we ordered our couch. We're not getting the couch until March. So, yeah. And it's funny. We had these armchairs. I got them covered downstairs because trying to keep the cats from fucking with the leather. So, yeah. Washington versus Oregon in Pac-12 title game. The winner will make it to the playoffs. Yes. I would agree with that. Washington, Oregon, I would agree with that. So it was packed. I mean, and the roads was packed, all the stores. And so that's the only real shopping we did. No, I take it back. We went out to the Southdale Mall. We got this furniture, and then we went out to a mall I hadn't been in years. And it was a Dave and Buster's in this motherfucker. So I ended up getting this. Actually, my wife bought me the one with the bear, and I don't really like prints. I don't really like the prints. She had bought me the one with the bear face, the print. I like stitched shit, so this shit is stitched. I like that. I like shit stitched. So, I don't really buy prints anymore. So I had to go back. But we went out there. That's where we went on Black Friday. And they got a bunch of shit. My daughter, I didn't realize I had bought my daughter a pair of Air Force Ones. And so we were looking for another pair. And dude was like, Macy's has finish lines inside some of them. But they also had a store. So I was like, oh shit, I forget what I paid. I don't think I paid what 100 and something back then, but that's what they was. So, and my wife is like, well, we promised to get her those. So that's why we need to get them before Christmas. And I'm like, shit, it's Christmas. She's like, but I told her that we were going to get them. And I'm like, it's Christmas coming up in 4 or 5 weeks. So why would we buy her? But she's like, no, we're going to get her those. So my daughter's about to get her a pair of Air Force Ones. So yeah, but the furniture sale it goes on till Monday. The furniture sale was lovely. I might even go out there and get a dresser. It's like, man. But yeah, so that was kind of my Black Friday experience. Oh, let me bitch about something else. Here's something else to bitch about. Now, maybe I have to go and bring this up. Let's see. It's gonna be a minute. Okay. See if I can replay this. Okay. Here we go. I don't know how far back I gotta go. But I live on a hill. And I live right next to a ski hill. I mean, I live like it's kind of interesting. Once you cross the river, you elevate. So like you cross the Minnesota River, which leads into the Mississippi down to St. Paul, between St. Paul and Minneapolis. But you elevate, like it's valleys, like I go down to valleys. So we live by a big ski hill, and the ski hill makes artificial snow. And what pisses me off, this is what pisses me off about this hill. They make artificial snow, and it seems like every time they make snow, it fucking snows everywhere else. I'm going like where I had to go today to go pick my couch up, or my chair, excuse me. It was snowing over there. It's been 30, 28 the last 3-4 days, and that's what they need. But it seems ironic that it snows everywhere. Like right now, we got about 1 inch everywhere. It's a dusting. It's gonna melt by the midweek. But it's like this is bogus as hell. This is bogus that they create this art and then it gets cloudy. It's cloudy all day. It was clear yesterday. They started making this bullshit, and it's loud as fuck. They make this shit. They're doing this shit, and we keep our wind. We got to put the humidifiers up and shit. And so, let me see. I know I made a video about it. Show y'all this shit is somewhere in here. But it's like it's bogus. It's like really. I mean, it was no snow there 3 days ago, and that shit's full of snow. They probably taking people. Today, they still that shit's still going. So next week sometime, probably next weekend, these motherfuckers is gonna be skiing. And like even the inner tube is expensive as fuck. It's like $50, $60 for a half hour inner tubing. Fuck that. I ain't trying to do that, but that's bogus. It's in here somewhere. I don't know how far back it is. No, it ain't that far back. It's not COVID far back. So I went too far. I know I made a short little video to show this shit. No, that ain't it. Fucking, I ain't gonna trip off it too long. But that's my gripe. That is my gripe. Yeah, Black Friday was crazy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I bought another one, PJ. We went and got another. They only had one left. Man, they sold these motherfuckers. All them recliners and shit. It's a leather couch. If I didn't have this sectional right here, I would buy this leather couch. I just have nowhere to put it. This motherfucker's $700, but it is supple leather. It's like a tannish, like 90 feet. Oh, this shit is wicked, and it's like the newer style. But it's nowhere to put it. I have nowhere to put that big ass couch because we already ordered the other couch. But that motherfucker's only $700. It's really worth it. It's like so worth it. Where is this shit? I know I made this shit. This was a short? I don't think it was a short. Somewhere in here, but fucking I'm not gonna look for it forever. But it's they make snow. So if y'all come up here and see me, you won't use the skin, motherfucker. Hey, you be right by me. You will be right by me for sure. Yeah, you'll be right by me for sure. Now I don't know where I did with this video. I can't find it. It must have been a short. I don't know. Was it live? I don't know if this was a live. Maybe it was a live. I didn't think I did it live. Maybe. I don't think I did though. This is about a year ago. But yeah, it was electronic stores and people buying bullshit. It's bullshit you don't really need. But the clothes was crazy. Like this was 170, and I got this for. Because what I took back was more expensive. It was more expensive. It was what 118. She paid 118, and I got this for 100. This was like 170. And I say again, this gold is the new stuff. This is the newer style of it. I don't know where I put that shit. It's somewhere in here. Oh well. Well, the next subject I have, fuck that. I'm not gonna play with that. Some cool shit. Let me show it. So when I went to see Killer of the Flower Moon, they didn't have this, but they had one. And this is interesting. This is almost sigil-like. I'm gonna show this to my brother to let him break this down. But this is the poster from Killer of the Flower Moon. And really, if you look at it, it's kind of the ball field. You can kind of look at it as that being the ball field. So. But I'll get into this right here. This shit, this is cold. This picture is cold. I'm putting this shit in a frame. I got 2 or 3 of them I'm gonna put in the frames, but this shit is nice. This is some bad shit. Now this is made not on good paper as Miss Marvel or the Taylor Swift shit, but this is cold. I like this poster. As a poster, this is cold. This is my ex-wife's birthday. No, I guess not. The other one is. Miss Marvel is her birthday, but this is cold. You know, this is nice. So, I guess I'll break down the movie. So, you know, during the French Revolution, which is, you know, they don't want to give a lot of props about the French Revolution because it was the one time where the poor people killed the rich people. And without really the army interceding. Yeah, the army didn't really intercede. Now remember, Marie Antoinette, and I should look this up, but Marie Antoinette was either from Austria or Germany. She wasn't French. But again, it was cousins mixed, you know, made arrangements. She married Louis. And, you know, she made the famous thing that let him eat cake. So the movie starts off with her execution. And, you know, I read some things that said, you know, she was defiant and shit. And they said in real life she was crying and stuff. They show their children. Now, I don't know what happened to her daughter, but they locked her son up. They locked him up for almost 15 to 20 years. Like the French government kept him locked up. And so they don't really show him. They show Napoleon there watching her get guillotined. But if you understand, this was the first time in history that the poor overthrew the rich. And if you were even, I mentioned this before, there's a very good black and white movie that talks about the French Revolution. I want to say it was made in late 50s, early 60s, probably more early 60s. It gives you a great understanding, the trials they had. It was like if the motherfucker knew aristocrat, if you knew aristocrat, they was killing you. And again, you know, they end up killing Robespierre because they were saying he was killing people for his personal gain. So they kill Robespierre. Now, one thing they don't show really what made Napoleon on the French people's side. They don't show that. What happens is Louis brings in the Haitians. Now, remember, those of you that know American Revolution, the Haitians fought in the American Revolution. Some people say some of the Haitians was black, if you've ever heard that, or melanated. But they don't show that in the movie. They don't talk about why people really, what made him important. What they focus on is the port of maybe Tappan. Maybe I'm getting it, but that's what. So the British are blockading the French, so the French can't make any money since the Revolution. So what Napoleon comes up with a plan, and he invents the shorter cannons, the more mobile cannons, which is like a mortar today. Napoleon invents the mortar, the short cannons that you can strike quickly, and that's how he overtakes this port. He sinks all the boats in the harbor that the British have. So this is his first shot at the British. And after doing this makes him, you know, famous because his plan gave French freedom, if you can understand that. Now, I'm going to mention this before I forget it. The biggest disappointment of the film, and Nick Taylor, I know if Nick Taylor ever hears this is something he'll understand as well. And anybody in the military. The biggest thing Napoleon gave the world, is still used today, is the corpse, or the way you break down your army groups. No one had broken, not even the Romans, had broken down their army groups as what Napoleon did. The different corps, the different battalions. He invented even the battalion. But the way the armies operate, everyone still does what Napoleon taught. The way the ranks, the way they operate, Napoleon gave the world that, the way the armies operate. Everyone else after him copied it. And in the movie, you see where they even start using this tactics of using, you know, the mortar. Okay, so, you know, he gets married, and he married a girl that's really from the island. They show her pictures, and some people say the pictures is whitewashed because she marries a woman from one of the islands in Americas. And the lady was locked up for being an ex-aristocrat. She's fucking while, you know, she said she had to have babies while she was locked up because she was part of aristocrat. one day they pass a law where all these people that was kind of, known aristocrats, they pardon them. So she gets out. Napoleon falls in love with her. They get married, and the very night they get married, she's flirting with the motherfucker, and he don't go check this chick. Bitch. I'm gonna say he didn't go check the bitch. He's just staring there. You are the princess, and at this point, he's only, brigadier general. And she's flirting with a motherfucker, at their wedding feast. And this nigga don't get up and say shit. They have sex scenes in there that make no sense. It's like, why do we need to see that this motherfucker fucked? I don't get. Like, why? Like there's an Eisenhower. Remember the Eisenhower series? And they're showing this motherfucker fuck every series. It's like, who cares about that these motherfuckers fuck? We know they was humans. Why do you waste time with sex scenes? And I guess they're trying to show that Egypt was very rigid. He's just like pump, he little short man hitting it from behind. And I don't know. So she turns out, so he goes and conquers Egypt. She's back home. And he doesn't kill the dude that she was home with. Like they say he left his army, and he's like, no, who else is going to govern while I'm gone? But he conquered Egypt and, she's been hoeing. So he doesn't kill the dude. The dude is in the military that she fucking. And so this is again, and so as he gets into power, the famous picture of him crowning himself, where he beats the Austrian. And one mistake he made, he does a trap where he puts and this is in the trailer, where he puts the Austrian army and the Russian army and he defeats them. He thoroughly defeats them. And he says, I'm going to let you go. If he had annihilated the Russian army right there, he could have taken Russia. But again, in goodwill, he lets the Austrians become his allies. The Russians never do. Now, so that's the famous battle. So they see him go. So he becomes emperor. He goes into Russia. And this is where you see the writer's strike has fucked them up. Now, I am a history guy. Through and through, I am a history guy. I've watched the French Revolution on the History Channel, and let me tell you how they copied it. The History Channel shows them going into Russia, and they go there. There's nothing there. They set the place on fire, so you can't even stay there to get out the heat. They set the city on fire. He goes into Moscow, and on the way back they get harassed. And he took 500,000 men in. He brought 40,000 back. This is the History Channel. Don't you know that all they did is they showed the Cossacks attacking them on the way into Russia. And then they show Russia, them going, him going in there, sitting on the crown, and then he goes to sleep. And that night, his army ain't paying attention to another army burning the city down. I mean, how did the army miss that part? Like, he didn't bring any troops to see if anybody of them, where they could just come in and burn the city down? That was History Channel. That's you could see the writer's strike affected by the way they did that. Now, let me say this. Any of you who've ever read the book Love and War, it gets into the Napoleonic Wars. This is the first time in history where we see weather warfare. And wizards in Russia, was able to do weather warfare to save them. Because if you read Love and War, there's some descriptions of what the men faced when they was leaving. Because remember, the Tsar did what Vlad did. He tried to kill everything around there so they had nothing to scrounge from or nothing. He removed all the people where they was coming back from, so they really couldn't live off the land. But they got hit with that winter, and they say it was so cold. This isn't Love and War. They describe it that it was so cold that the motherfucking oxygen was crystallizing. The oxygen was crystallizing. It was so cold. I've never heard of that in any expedition. I've read about Matthew Henson going to, the North Pole, him and Commander Perry, but more about Matthew Henson. They never described that. But yet in Russia, it was able to be so cold that the air would start crystallizing. So again, we know that's some type of weather warfare. That's some type of weather magic that was used to stop Napoleon. And again, his ego. There was no reason to attack them. There was no reason to attack to attack Russia at that time. And what's an interesting statistic, in all his wars, over 3 million men was killed. That's bananas. That's bananas. So, he retreats, he comes back, they take him away, they put him on the first island. They say, we putting you on the island because you went with 600,000 men, you come back with 40,000. So, you're fired. You're fired. So they put the nigga on the island. Now, again, all the things with his wife being a hoe and shit, that, again, they waste time with that. Their relationship, you find out that, I don't know. It's like they say he was socially awkward. I don't know. Like he picked the wrong one. He could have had anybody. It was like when it came to a point, and I didn't realize they was together for 15 years. They was like, look, she ain't had a baby in 15 years. What's going on? So they take him to a young girl. He gets the young girl pregnant, and they force him to divorce Josephine. So her 2 children have grown up being, the empress's daughters, his stepchildren or whatever you would call it. And when he makes her sign that shit, that's some good, that is good filming. When he makes her do the divorce, that shit is done pretty well. I must say that. The crowning is beautifully shot. The way he crowns himself, that's beautifully shot as well. But the divorce scene is really well done. The divorce scene is really well done. And then, of course, when they put him on the island, it's still, very unstable in France. The soldiers go back and get him. He comes back and his army supports him. And he tries to attack Wellington and the Russians. He tries to attack them with 100,000 men. And that's where Waterloo came, where, instead of their charges, they would do the squares and shit. They squared up on him. And they end up getting defeated. He gets captured. And then they put him on the second island. Now, for those of you that research a little more, they systematically poisoned him while he was on the island. They show you this because he's drinking some wine and you see a fly in the wine. But when they did an autopsy in the modern times, they found out that he was slowly poisoned because he only lived on the island for 6 years. He died in his 50s. That's how scared of him they were. But again, 3 million men, but he fought people too. But the Russian thing, it didn't seem like he had to do it. It's like he had enough power and Russia was trading with Britain. And and they don't show his hesitation of not using his navy to go ahead on at Britain. There's a famous picture that you can see. And then, it's the same thing that Eisenhower had to deal with. They blame storms. And maybe that's what the storm is before he finds Wellington. Now I think about it. The storm before he finds Wellington probably is really meaning the storm that he would not attack he had his navy and supplies and everything to attack Britain by the navy, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it because of the storms. They show him kind of flaking out in the Battle of Waterloo, like he couldn't make decisions anymore. And so the beginning of the movie, you can tell they shot the beginning of the movies before the writer's strike. It was definitely, the second part of the half of the movie was, the battle scenes are good though. I'll say the Wellington even, the one on the ice, those battles are good. The way he captures the fort, the battle scenes are good. Overall, I would give the movie, 6 maybe 6. Yeah, the sex scenes made no sense. It's just like, like we don't know people fuck. You got to show us. That's debauchery. So that's what I would give it. I would give it a 6. So, Joey, sex scenes are so unnecessary. All humans do it and every other species. There you go. Thank you for joining though, Joey. I know you got to have.
Got to have vision.
And I know you want to.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmics.
And don't
touch my truck.
Don't touch my truck. Oh, yes, agreed. Hey, what's up, Bishop MacBone? What is happening? And you somebody who definitely always controls your
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And you definitely got
to have vision.
And you definitely need to jump up on the cosmic patio and hit it with me.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump.
But never.
Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck.
Don't touch my truck. You know I'm having fun with this motherfucking shit. You're talking about the Napoleon movie starring, Jacqueline, Thank you. The three initiates. They're yeah, definitely. Genius, Bruiser, Malik, the Dragon. On the island of Alba, mentioned in the Alexandria Duma classic, The Count of Monte Cristo, French Monty of Christ. Yeah. 1.1 likes on the stream is what I have seen. Let's go. What? Really? No, I've never had that before. You sure? I know they've been giving everybody 400 and what? Every channel you go to got 469 likes. So so overall, I think it's a movie like my daughter, like, and this is where we go. And I know Sly, because his daughter's only a year older than my daughter. So I know he knows about this shit. So she's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. So we're in the mall and shit. She's telling me she doesn't want to go. And I looked at her firmly. I said, look, if all you got to say to me is that you don't want to go, stop talking to me. Don't say nothing else to me. And she looked at me. And she just like slowly followed us. You know, I've got 7, 8 children, so I've raised 7 children, so they'll follow. And it's crowded like that. It's a fucked up time to have an attitude because there's a lot of motherfuckers you gotta pay attention. That's what I told her. And then she saw the movie. She's like, oh, okay, this has got a little bit of history in it. Yeah, it's got a lot of history in it. There's a movie just about it, Marie Antoinette. If you want to, what's her name? That played in V for Vendetta. That chick plays Marie Antoinette in the movie. So if you want to know that little bit of history. Yeah. But I mean, and what's funny is, the French in 1780, whatever, the French Revolution, they celebrated. And I'm thinking, now, wait a minute. You're celebrating 100 years of the French Revolution, but wait a minute. You motherfuckers was conquered by the Nazis. And at the time, it was only like 40 years. Whenever they celebrate, it was like 40. Well, let's see. Yeah, it was in the 80s. So it was only 40 years for World War II. It was in the 80s whatever the 80s, or maybe it was in the 90s. I want to say it was in the 80s. Whatever was 100 years from the French Revolution, which probably more of the 90s. So it's only 40, 50 years. You're celebrating, wait a minute, them Nazis was in France taking all your paintings and shit. So I was like, what the fuck are you people celebrating? You have nothing to celebrate. It ain't been 100 years y'all was free. But, I mean, that's deep, though, if you think about it. The poor took over and exterminated the rich. They killed the king, which is equal to killing the president, and all the people that ran, the government, because it ain't just the king. They killed all of them. Where a country took over and the rest of the world sat there. And that's where Napoleon came in. Again, they tried to bring in Haitians to turn the tide, and that's where Napoleon fucked them up. There's a movie that shows that. Golly, what is that movie? And it's in color. It's not the black and white movie. It's a movie in color where the Haitians come in. Napoleon had them cannons waiting for him, and he just blows the fuck up them. Oh, a very good scene is Napoleon's riding his horse in the first battle, and a motherfucking cannonball hits his horse. That shit is very well done. I mean, that motherfucking, that cannonball splits that horse in two. It fucks him up. The picture where he's roaring, it's a white stallion like that. So that was kind of well done. It's CGI, but it was well done. That was well done where, horse got blowed the fuck up while he was riding it. So, it was a good movie. About, yeah. I heard about him, and they say that in Australia, the legal age is 15, 16. What everybody's getting on him is Stephen A. Smith. And what's the little light-skinned sister that's married to the European cat? She ain't said nothing about it either. They can't wait to stomp on the brother, but this ain't hot news on ESPN. And they, I don't think he's going to get in trouble for it because I just don't think so. But it's still worth reporting. And when it happens to a brother, remember, this dude, but he ain't been arrested or nothing. It's just like he put himself in the video. They looking at the girl, and the girl ain't of age.
So, does it come to the where, they got to testify? I don't know. Because if she tell the same story he tell, ain't nothing going to happen. So, yeah. And I'm sorry I didn't come on last night. I got that George Floyd shit early yesterday. And, it was one of the nights. And Fridays, I don't normally come on anyway. But yeah, I should have came on about that George Floyd shit. Because I had that shit early yesterday. And I like fucked around. I was like, fuck it. So, dude got fucked up in the federal pen. That was a hit. That was a loud hit. And so that's kind of some loud words, that in the feds, somebody went after him and they allowed it. So that's kind of cool that they got him. They got him like that. Nasser, remember Larry Nasser? Remember him, the dude from Michigan State that's telling the girls the only way that he had young girls and parents believing that the only way he could fix their growing is by inserting himself inside the young girls. I mean, his finger. And he could push the muscle. This is the kind of shit he was doing and making people believe that shit. So somebody caught up with him too a year or two ago. So, it's a lot of, hey, people ain't forgot. And, the prison probably don't like him either. And remember what happened to the dude in Wisconsin? They put him in a place where it was weights and the dude bashed his head, Jeffrey Dahmer. And then they come out, and that's what's interesting, is like they knew Jeffrey Dahmer had his brains beat in, but what was the thing? What did they put out? That the dude killed him by putting a broom up him. That's what they put out. Well, he died, he was cleaning the toilet. They ain't say nothing about he was in a weight room and that the dude, blasted his head open with weights. They said the dude killed him in a bathroom stall with a broom. Dude done wrote a book and told you, I bashed his brains in. So, different stories for different folks. OTF, what's happening?
Got to have vision.
For being up this late, and I know you definitely will party with me.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmics.
But don't forget.
Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck.
Yes, don't touch my truck. Yes, Malika Andrews. Thank you. Thank you, OTF. She she about Down and Brothers, She gets applause for how many niggas did you talk about today? You didn't talk about enough niggas today. That's her. It's like, wait, well, how many niggas? Well, she looks at her thing. She's like, well, how many niggas do I get to talk about? How many? Oh, so that's her script. How many niggas can you talk about? Yeah, exactly. Welcome, ASAP. Okay. I don't know if you got vision. I think that's like a, what do you say? It's kind of like a trap question. But I will give my honest opinion, the same opinion that everybody's giving. The world has turned on them peoples. The world sees the apartheid state for what it is. And this is not propaganda. This is what has been going on, if anybody's paid attention. I mean, the YouTube of the way they search those houses, the way they have taken that land and taken that land, what is called the Belfry Agreement that gave them that land. I mean, these are people that come from Russia, basically. Eastern Bloc people that said that didn't want to take Islam, didn't want to take Christianity. That is why they took Judaism. Everybody knows this. They were stuck between Islam and Christianity, and they said, what can we do where we don't want to side on with them? And those people in Russia, and again, what goes with that? Blood libel. I mean, let's talk the history of them peoples. Every country, like look up the countries that they've been put out of. I probably can do that. I can probably do that. Wow. It's like, this is too much to read. Expulsion and exoduses. You know, and this BC shit, we know it's all some bullshit, but like, okay, here we go. Okay, let's now we know what Isabella did. We know what Isabella did. Let's start there. What Isabella did. That shit wasn't about the Moors. She was going to war with the Moors. That shit was about getting rid of them people. Because those people, what they say, what do they say in Isabella's book? They never worked the land. Levi's jeans, Levi's canvas. They ain't mining for gold. They're waiting to make money off the people that mine for gold. So you ask the question, let's get into the real history. Inquisition. Who was that about? When I was a kid, when I was a child, it was movies all the time fucking them peoples up in Inquisition. It was always Inquisition people. Put them on the rack. Put them in that cage. It was a plenty of movies, black and white movies about Inquisition. And, you know, that's where we get, you know, the Jesuits come in, because the Jesuits came in after Isabella. They was like, hey, we need another army. And a lot of them peoples had to, you know, I can't think of the word, when you transfer to Christianity. A lot of them peoples was forced to go into Christianity. But when them peoples went into Christianity, they end up taking and being the popes. They end up being the popes, or they had access to the popes. Conversos. You know, the conversos. That's the history. Now, you know, it's more than, you know, so that's how I feel. And that's how the world feels. The world is looking at the history and saying, this is the history of these people. And if we're going to just break it down to Palestine, them people since the 40s, it's been apartheid. And that's not propaganda. That's not jumping on any bandwagon. That's a relevant fact. For 12th to 14th century, the French practiced expelling the Jews, accompanied by confiscation of their property, followed by temporary readmission for ransom, was used to entrench the crown. Expulsion by Paris by Philip. The influenced philosopher Randy Lowell called the expulsion of them from scholars. So 13th century. Y'all can look at this shit. Let me bring it in. Here we go. On 1253, Jews of Venice, France were expelled by order of the Pope. Naples, first issue expulsion. 1290, Edward of England issues edict of expulsion from all of them from England after 365 years. Cromwell probably was one of them peoples and let him back in. The Jews of Bern, Switzerland were expelled. Several Jews were put to death in their consequence of blood libel. Expelled in Hungary. Expelled from Switzerland. Albert orders expulsion, forcible conversion to Christianity. That's what Isabella did. Fernando and Isabella issued the Aberim Decree. Let's show that back. Was an issue by the joint Catholic monarchs of Spain ordering expulsion of practicing Jews from the crowns of Castile and Aragon and its territories and possessions by July 31st of that year. The primary purpose was to eliminate. Where's the rest of it? Okay, it took me there. So, Pasul, Ravana, Charles of Naples bringing new persecution. Portugal. So, you know, I mean, that speaks for itself. You know, we got their money back in both sides of the wars. This ain't hate speech. This is facts. Their money backs both sides of the wars. Every war, even the French Revolution, they back both sides. One side got beat down. Okay. We're going to put our money behind the Tsar for now. So I hope that answered that question. Ah, there's my man Lorenzo. Oh, and I know he has.
You got to have vision.
And I know he can't wait to jump on the
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic.
But don't never.
Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck.
Don't touch my truck. The Inquisition movies were very popular in the 80s, and The Rose, starring Sean Connery and Christian Slater. It's a bunch of black and white movies, though. It's a like a bunch of black and white TV movies, especially. You know, put them on the rack. That was real popular in the 50s and 60s. You find them old TV shows, and yeah, it's a lot of cheap little shows you probably never think of, but it'd be like little. I just remember being a child watching certain reruns, and it'd be a show about Inquisition. I'm like, damn, they fucking these people up again. It's like, damn. Other Inquisition movie, The Day of Wrath, starring Christopher Lambert. Jews in Spain were forced to take Christianity names and practice Judaism in secret. And that gets you into, you know, what people don't realize about Columbus. Columbus was Jewish faith as well. Columbus wasn't Italian. That's a lie. It appears like he was a Jewish faith person from Portugal. But see, Italian people didn't like that they was only mafia-looking people, so they made up this thing about Columbus. But Columbus wasn't from. He was not from. Even Isabella tries to say, you know, he's from Cologne. No, he wasn't. He's from Portugal, and his people was Jewish faith. And you know, this is very easy to find. The Other Slavery talks about this. Jewish faith people. Isabella, and Fernando was in a war. She had to sell her crown jewels and shit, so they ain't had no money to pay him. For what? What he just had promises. It was Jewish faith people. And I got back there, the names is in books. Again, Another Slavery. It's other books. You can find this though. You can find the real person that put the, Converso. Converso is the one, hiding in Portugal. Converso is the one that paid for Columbus' trip. Because then peoples had nowhere to go. And peoples was put out everywhere. So Columbus is the one, that's what Columbus was looking for. Like Another Slavery talks about, one of the governors that was given a great part of South America and maybe most of Mexico. This is, maybe 70, 80 years after Cortez. And they found out his daughter was practicing being Jewish faith. So they took his position away. So that's what a lot of them did. A lot of them got out of Spain, came over to America. Secretly, they were still Jewish faith. And that's where the Jesuits come out of. A lot of them Jesuits, they was like, Jewish faith people could be, Jesuits, Zionist. What does Biden say? You ain't got to be Jewish faith to be a Zionist. Or a Jesuit, but the Jesuits ain't the end. Zach is Jesuits everything. No, it ain't just them. They're just the arm of this, the arm of the beast, but they ain't the only one. Matter of fact, Christopher Columbus wasn't even his real name. It was something like, Christophus Cologne. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of thoughts of that. Actually, it's a title. Christopher Columbus in that form is a title. The first Christopher Columbus was St. Patrick. St. Patrick was another Christopher Columbus. You can find that. You can dig into that. He was the first Christopher. It's a title. That's why, the Kalon, it's another dude. Like the story dude is not the dude that lived in real history. There's another complete different dude that went and made all this. It ain't the story they tell you. It's a completely different person that did all this. And again, Jewish faith people paid for it because Isabella, they was in a war. They're paying troops. They're paying, they're paying Borgia. Borgia, the HBO series is excellent on his debauchery, but again, they're paying a dude who ends up being Pope, his army. These was bishops that had armies. Like, they had, a bishop holds a district. And so these was bishops, all their churches, everybody built a little army. So, these were warrior bishops. I guess that's the best way I can put it. Warrior bishops. So, but that's the history, and that's where we're at today. That's why, the Kingsman. The Kingsman shows the silliness of World War I. You've got all these relatives supposedly fighting each other. And it's very doubtful that the Tsar got killed. It's very doubtful. His gold gets out. It's very doubtful. That story just seems like, again, propaganda. It is a fact that the Jewish faith people, which were Bolsheviks were Jewish faith people. And that's why people forget that Russia is really a Jewish faith country. And that's why they say they're religionless. You know, I mean, think about it. If you look at them people and what they believe in, they don't believe in a real religion. They believe in something very wicked. So that's perfect for communism that says, you know, there's no God. And that's what another base is if you read Engels and Marx. But yet all them cats was Jewish faith. Like all of them. Trotsky, Lenin, Stalin, all them Jewish faith people. That ain't hard to find. Just look them up. It'll tell you their original names. Trotsky took the name of a jailer. When they put all them Jewish faith people in jail, the Tsar did, one of the jailers was named Trotsky. And when Trotsky, whatever his Jewish faith name was, when he was in jail, in prison, when he got out, he became cool. You know, he had intellect. He became cool with that dude and took that dude's name. That is a fact. The Bolsheviks were Jewish faith. And so you had the Jewish faith Bolsheviks overthrow the Catholics. And the other Catholics of the world didn't really do anything about it. They didn't really do anything about it. His cousins, and that goes to show he probably wasn't killed. I mean, him and his cousin George, you know, the King of England, they looked identical. Like all them relatives looked identical. So it's very doubtful they killed them like they try to tell you they're killed. Very doubtful. I did a picture, maybe a post or something of what is his name? He's one of the Jewish faith lawyers out of New York, and he has a picture of the Tsar Alexander sitting there, you know, held by his people. It's the deep people, and it's funny. When they interviewed him again after I made a comment about that shit, he took that picture down. When they interviewed him, they didn't show an angle showed that picture. So they kind of. So I think that, you know, because his gold got out of there, so that shit what they say happened to his family. I doubt it. I doubt it. They went and lived a life somewhere else. Another matter of fact, Christopher Columbus. Yeah. Russia is actually an atheist and ungodly country. Well, what do you think them folks is? Them people's is, what do you think they believe in? You know, they if anybody believes in Yadaboeth, if anybody, you know, believes in the Demerge, I mean, this is what their Old Testament tells you. A jealous God, no God but me. That ain't how godly thinks. Here's a perfect example of how God thinks. And it's like this. It's like when you're just sitting there feeling good and vibing high, you ain't mad about shit. If the neighbor's out there yelling, you don't care. What you're feeling in your area, you're good enough. That's how God feels. God ain't bothered because they like another. They see something else and they build something to it and they sit there and say, hey, we like this too. A real God says, okay, I'll throw some energy into that. If that's what y'all into, boom, I'm going to give you energy into that. That's what a God does, or a good. That's what you do. You throw that energy into that thing and like, go ahead. If that make you feel good, let it keep making you feel good. It's like crystals. The same thing, you know. It's energy in all this stuff. So that's what they believe in. That's why they call it the Holy Spirit. That's, you know, the Christianity. You know, when they again, the Christians say, well, it's different stages, but it's Sophia. And as I said before, you know, we want Mu. We don't want Sophia. We want Hathor. We don't want Sophia. Sophia is not wisdom for us. We want that Hathor energy. We want the multiple Hathors. We want the Mu energy. We don't want Sophia. You know? Someone that tries to trick everybody, create something outside of herself. And that's the whole thing, is outside of yourself. She thought she was going to find fulfillment outside her for herself. So we don't look to that as our divine feminine. That's not wisdom to us. That's chaos. If you read about her, she's part of chaos. She creates chaos. She creates the ultimate chaos. So, just read the Talmud. Yeah, you can read the Talmud too. Yeah, America's actually a cooperative entity, as well as an ungodly country. The American gods are sex, money, and power. Yeah, kinda. It's been a cooperation since after Reconstruction they took over. People don't realize that. Yeah, it was the country was retaken over after Reconstruction. And with the agreement of the North, to continue, Jim Crow, they benefited off, the country benefited off Jim Crow, but the country, well, it's not even the country. Like DC considered themselves like the Vatican. That's what happened when, you call it the corporation. DC is actually the same as the Vatican. It's a city state. And you can't deny that it is. Right now, they're militarized up with all them fences and stuff. And, it's like putting, the moat in the walls. And see, that's the problem. I've talked about this many times. That's the propaganda, the way they fooled the people in the North. The Southerners saying, I'm succeeding against that union. We're leaving DC. We don't think that little area should control all this. It wasn't totally about slavery. It was about that little area saying it can control the whole area. It wasn't about the North and South. It was about DC having control over everything, and they really have no control. Saying this central government is going to have more power than each state. And it wasn't, the Constitution wasn't made for it. And the way they set DC up, they made it like Rome. It's a pentagram, a negative pentagram. You've got the negative phallus, Osiris. It's Osiris. It's Osiris. So that's what the war was. It was against them. Lincoln and them said, hey, we need y'all to help us. Slavery, that slavery. We need y'all to go fight slavery. Propaganda. Not when the real objective is we don't want to be part of this federal DC. We think we are countries. We think we are countries and we want to be treated like countries. That was their argument. And yes, you can look into bylaws, the slavery shit, but the real problem was the way they were being governed. They didn't think it was fair the way they were being governed. And they had no problem with the rest of the states. And that's where, the ignorance of people to be swayed. Like I said, with Pearl Harbor, Hawaii gets bombed and you're a European that lives in Alabama and whatever your job and your family is, why do you give a fuck about Hawaii? In your whole life, you'll never go there. But all of a sudden, because they tell you and show you some movies or some shit, you signing up. We need to go kill. We need to go kill right now. We need to go kill. The whole country was like, we need to go kill. And then, that's where we get the imbecile psychopaths. Again, people programmed. People was programmed. People programmed. I pledge allegiance to the flag. I mean, you're programmed to act like that. I mean, why do you think all the cowboy movies of the 50s and the early 60s, who do you think that was aimed at? And the World War II movies too. Who do you think that was aimed at? That was aimed at the baby boomers. They wanted the baby boomers to learn to kill. They had melanated people, you ain't cheering on the Indians. You cheering the Europeans. Killing the melanated Americans. You cheering the Europeans. Go, John Wayne, kill all them motherfuckers. That's how they brainwashed us. But they brainwashed the baby boomers to fight in Vietnam. Do you see? Kill the Indians. And I mean, if you really study Vietnam, it makes no sense. I mean, the way it's fought makes no sense. What would I say about Napoleon? The way you win wars, you take the capital. They never did that. When the French operated in Vietnam, they were in Hanoi. That was the French capital. Then America just bombs it. They never send troops. Now, how is that realistic? And then they say, well, you know, they've got the Haipang, Hapang, where they're bringing in, you know, Russians can bring in shit. And then you got the Chinese railway, where the Chinese bringing in shit. And if we bomb those tracks, you know, the Chinese might come in like they did in Korea. They put men with guns on both sides and just sacrificed them. Got rid of 50,000 baby boomers. And see, you know, you just say, okay, 50,000 people, but that's 50,000 people. Each could turn into thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. So you see how they cut out that part of society? And hell, they just purged them 2 years ago. We see those same people got purged a couple years ago. They went after, you know, that I'm baby boomers. I'm with baby boomers. 48 to 64. Well, it really 49. So, Sophia in Greeks means wisdom. She's mentioned in the book of Proverbs, the so-called Holy Bible. Why would I fight for a country that's trying to kill me? Chris Rock. That's what the Holmes actually do said in less speech. You cheering John Wayne's, who the Indian is you. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was like, you know, like think about it like this. Who saw the original Zulu movie? You know, you see the Zulu movie and you see all them British officers getting fucked up. But the way it's filmed, and what's his name? He was James Bond, Michael Caine. Michael Caine's in the Zulu movie. And you see all these Zulus fucking these Europeans up, and you feeling sorry. I remember the first time I was like, damn, why you doing that to them? What did them British do to you? Instead of cheering them on, like, man, fuck all them British up. You know, I watch it now. That's the fun shit to watch. Them Zulu go after their ass. But the movie that I'm surprised they made was Black Hawk Down. Now, I know it's not a melanated person out there that did not cheer for the Africans to go after them boys. The way they are all, you know, gung-ho and John Wayne and shit, and they little bitches when they start getting hurt. Oh. Motherfuckers fall out the helicopter. Like, he's so nervous, he just falls out and splats on the ground. But my favorite part of Black Hawk Down is when they show the black dude, you know, they show the brother, and then the next time, you know, they show the brother wearing African clothes. And then at the end of the movie, you saw him change his clothes and go back with his unit. He was smart. That's my favorite part. Like, yeah, fuck them. No, but look at the real footage. It's a bunch of brothers in the real footage. But it was a movie where I was like, damn. Like, you know, the hate that hate creates. I was cheering for the Africans to fuck the Americans up. And I'm not against anybody that was in the military. Don't get me wrong. I had relatives. My relatives have fought in every war. It's in the books, every fucking war. But the way I personally felt, I enjoyed them getting fucked up in Black Hawk Down. I was cheering for that. We're like, keep fucking them up. It was the first time they ever showed Europeans getting fucked up and vulnerable. They really don't show that about themselves. And remember that they come back and made the Bruce Willis movie. Remember that? They made the Bruce Willis movie where one man fucked up all of Africa. Remember whatever that Bruce Willis movie was? That was their return of like, whoa, wait a minute. We got to show Tarzan. And they made Bruce Willis Tarzan in modern times. One James Bond fucked up all the African. What was the Bruce Willis movie? Remember that one? Diamond in the Sun or some shit? That was their answer to Black Hawk Down. We got to have one motherfucker kill 1 million people and then, you know, to make it feel good. Again, that's no disrespect to any military person, and I know the Brotherhood, but the reality is, you know, we've been showing them put their foot in our ass forever. So when we see somebody put the foot in their ass, we got to cheer that shit. That shit is kind of like, damn, right the fuck on. Fuck them. Oh man, I was very happy when Queen Elizabeth passed away. I said, good writ. Oh yeah, that lizard family people. Like, well, who cares about their people? You know, it's like they're becoming, no one cares about them. No one cares about them. And what's sad is she, you know, her son is the biggest landholder in the world. And that's why, them not being when Parliament was all fake. Because Parliament won, and I've talked about this many, many times. Parliament beat them. Yet, Parliament doesn't take their bread, doesn't take their land, their jewels. All these other countries, when the queen gets defeated, they take everything from them. This my shit. Yeah, we didn't see that, huh? And you can still be a figurehead. You sit over Parliament. We still pay you. Americans still pay taxes to them. Some of our tax money goes to Britain, and we know it goes to Israel. As I said before, Israel, as far as COVID money, they got 50 million per person. That's how much money they got. And they want to give us $300 checks. The ones that didn't make too much. Yeah, 50 million per Israeli. That's what it averaged out to. The money they gave them was 50 million per Israeli. And they tell you, Trump said, I want to give everybody $2,000. Like, hey, they voted against it though. Now, and nobody can listen to this and say, if you don't love this country, leave. I shouldn't have to leave. The blood of my people live here. The bones of my people are endured here. So I have every right to be here. Because the grandmother of the mother and the mother of the mother, they're all buried here. So I have every right to be here. And I have every right to be upset. Because I study this beast we live off of. That's led us into these times where we are free slaves in a lot of ways. Free slaves in a lot of ways. I think Sly says it best. You got a lot of these a lot of these entertainers, that illusion of wealth. You can buy gold chains and shit. You can buy stupid shit that ain't gonna make you a lot of money. It's like a dude. They show some dude said he got out of jail. He had 3 or 4 watches on, 2 watches max, one on each hand. That's it. That's how watches work. And one watch should probably be this. The other one, whatever. 2 watches max. Now chains, I understand chains. I do understand it, but it's like I had a friend, like in the 80s when we was all Mr. T'd out. I mean, I'm having bracelets. I had whatever Rolex I had at the time. I had I've talked about this before. I had a bracelet that had a little compartment where you could put coke in the motherfucker. It's a bracelet and it like slipped on and you just tap it and that motherfucker opened up. It's coke in that motherfucker. And you'd had a little spoon on the chain and But I had friends that like fuck that shit. I can't wear chains. I had a lot of friends like that. Like, how can you wear that shit? We were slaves and shit. That's how they would hit me. But it's like, I can't wear that shit. How you wear that shit? That shit chokes me and it's like a lot of people say they can't meditate with metal on. And I don't understand that, especially, silver. Silver is the one thing, and really everyone you should wear silver. Because silver is the one thing that makes it reacts to you quantumly. Because if you wear it, it stays shiny, right? But actually, silver is being released into you. Like there's monotonic silver, monotonic gold. When you wear these things, they are released into you, no doubt. And silver is especially like this shit I wear with the Motivite. It makes the Motivite do what the Motivite is supposed to do. That's why I understand why turquoise is mostly with silver, because the silver is going to make the turquoise do what it's supposed to do in a quantum level. They go be like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. You wearing us. You got to do something. And so, these massive several chains, I don't get that. I don't really get that. You can wear 2 or 3. Like really 3 is really what most people should wear. 1 or 3. I know I go with 2 most of the time, but really 3 makes it more balanced. But again, if you're wearing 3 huge ones, this kind of looks ridiculous. And I'm somebody that loves that kind of stuff. But I don't, it's like there's a point where it's too much. And it's like it's like almost like it's a costume. It's like you look at some of these cats and it's a costume they wearing. The way they wearing. It's like a costume instead of a personal style. So yeah. Damn, I've been going an hour and a half. Okay, they did make From Themselves. Remember the video back in the 90s called Shock the Monkey? I wasn't born during that time, but it said MTV used to have that video in heavy rotation. Okay. Tears of the Sun. That's it. Yep, thank you. Yep, Tears of the Sun. Tears of the Sun. That was it. Yep. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Biden giving away all that bread to the foreigners, yet we think we ain't supposed to vote Trump. That's a good point. I was sharing what's Stidati's character in the movie Geronimo, an American Legend. He asked General Cook, played by Gene Hackman, how many Apaches did you kill? Yeah. And it's like, watching Custer and shit. Now that was one thing where I cheered for the Indians. Like Custer was an asshole. Every early 60s, the 60s version of Custer, he was an asshole. And you cheered for the Indians. But Little Big Man's version is like really shows he was a weirdo, crazy dude that got a little popularity for taking chances, but his ego got in the way. He broke his army apart, and he had Gatling guns. Custer, and I think this, and I'll say this about Custer. They let Custer get killed to get America to go to war against them people. That's what I think Custer really was about. They put Custer out. They knew how many he was facing. The rest of the army group held and didn't go to his help because he had an army group of about 600 men and he broke them all apart. He sent 200 one way, 200 another way. His 200 went. They was about up to maybe 10,000, American Indians out there. Between 5 and 10,000. And so, they were all gunned. They had better rifles. They had the Winchesters. So, they were shooting quicker at a quicker pace. So, but it was just a sacrifice to bring everybody to fight out west. That's what that was really about. But it was the first time I cheered for the Indians. It was just both, and Little Big Man especially. Like, fuck him up. Fuck him up. And like they showed where they're cowards like a motherfucker. That's what's interesting. And like Black Hawk Down, they become cowards. And that's what's interesting that they show about themselves, how they can become cowards. Let's see. Actually, American belongs solely to Black, Native, Indigenous Americans. M&A, melanated Native Americans. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But the problem is it's too many years of paperwork that says they own the shit. So, and like reparations, like reparations there should be a clash. I would say reparations should really be followed like this. See, slavery would be hard to prove, but Jim Crow ain't hard to prove. Jim Crow ain't hard to prove. And there's a book out there really that W.D. Bois that the government holds. I doubt they destroyed it. That would really do your case for a class action suit against the federal government in each state. Or at least the southern states that heavily practice Jim Crow. That's where I think could be the win. Because the names is known. The Bloody Shirt is the book summary. I mean, the names are known in Jim Crow. Cases and the family names. So that's who should pay, not the slavery stuff. Jim Crow, definitely. It was back, government terror. Jim Crow was government terror. And that's, my fiance, my wife and I get into it all the time. She's saying slavery, but nah, Jim Crow's way worse. There was more value of people, especially melanated people during slavery. There was no value of people. People was getting traded for 25 cents, sold to one jail to the other to go work, you know. And there was an undying supply of people. They criminalized, you know, freedom. And no one really did anything. You know, Harrison pulled all the troops out. So, there's a lot of things I can talk about. So, you took the words right from me. All them chains these rappers and athletes wear today is more like a costume instead of a style. Exactly. Yeah. It's not a style anymore. The overdoing it is not a style. Like you know, Kenya Martin said, and John Sally talked about Miles. What was Miles from St. Louis? Hurt his knee, but you know he had like a big old chain with his number on it. It's like, you know, John Sally said it best. It's like, okay, you forget your number. And what's the guy from Cincinnati, Martin? You know, he said the same thing. He said, I had a big chain with my name and my number on it. It's like, why? Why do you need that advertisement? Like, it was cool. Like, you know, you look at Michael's his first year, 86, you could still wear chains when you hooped. And that was cool. Like, baseball players still, you know, they wear cool shit. Baseball players and football players can still wear jewelry while they play. They can't wear rings, but they can wear chains. And that looks cool. You know, baseball players really have it, you know, where it looks cool. And so that's all you really need. But, you know, people don't want to be individuals anymore. People want to copy everybody. I mean, you still got so-called black people that's old enough to go, that went through Jim Crow. I'll say this, I'm old enough. 94, crime bill easily to prove criminally wrongs created by them Senator Joe Biden. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, in my lifetime, I mean, it was like, it's I know Dane showed it, but other people have shown it where they talked to this black mother. This black mother is still in the type of Jim Crow. The lady says she made $1 a day. She couldn't pay. She said it took her $1 a day to feed her children. And that's about what she made. And like, she had one of her children watch her children all day while she worked. She worked from like 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours every day. And she said she couldn't afford, because it was something like 30, 40 cents a day to watch her children if she put them in daycare. That's definitely slavery. I mean, slavery really didn't end until the 60s. And actually, like even the what did I write down? Let me find this. Like real slavery. Let me see. Let me find this right quick. And real slavery did not end until, let's see, can I get into here? Yeah. I wrote this shit down. Where's it at? Here it is. Slavery or peonage. 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 Peon comes from that. Officially didn't end until 1951 by act of Congress. That's why prisoners have to get paid. Like the one dude, one of Charles White's guys, he's a dude talking about he was in Texas working and he was a slave. No, you have to get paid something. You get paid pennies, but you still get paid something, because 1951 is when slavery, peonage, means even if you're in prison, you can't be forced to work. Like he said, the dude says, you know, in the last 10, 15 years, you know, they put him in a cage and you was forced to work. Well, you know, according to the laws, that's illegal, even when you went to prison. So you do, you know, they stop. And, you know, the real reason the real reason that stopped Jim Crow was World War II. That's the real reason that stopped Jim Crow, was World War II. Because they were locking up so many people from 1900 up till World War II. They were locking up so many people. They went to each state and said, you ain't locking nobody else up. We need them for in the war. And that's really what stopped it. From locking people up and making them work for you know, even these given industries. So, and we know these companies. I mean, there's a lot of paperwork on these companies. And as Lorenzo said, and I've said, you know, slavery ended in my lifetime in the 60s. Slavery went really like peonage, making prisoners work, ended in 51. But slavery itself, and, you know, under the guise of sharecropping, did not end until the 60s. And I'll say, it lived a little longer because my ex-wife, I've told this story many times. My ex-wife lived on a plantation. You go down a dirt road, her aunt's house was one spot, her aunt and her uncle. You go deeper into the fields, and that's was a little house. And from the time my ex-wife was a little girl until she left at 18, she lived in a 3-room house. It had 2 bedrooms and a kitchen. She had to use the outhouse until she went to college. Not only did she have to use the outhouse, they got their wells, their water from a well. She didn't have indoor plumbing. She's my age. Right now we're the same age. We're 7, 8 months probably apart. She was born in 1963 or late 62. She was born in 62. Okay, I grew up those same times, and I never it was outhouse because on my uncle's property was a little tiny house, and the person that lived in the little tiny house, they had the outhouse, but not me. Like never in my life did I live somewhere where it wasn't a toilet. Never, where I lived in cribs my whole life, houses. And again, I didn't grow up in the South, but do you understand how she lived? And this is she grew up like me in the 70s. In the 70s, she was living like that. And I had no idea that. I'll say this. The first time I saw how poor people live was I saw not sharecropping, but Michigan, it's a fruit state, especially southwestern Michigan. And that's what really brought the Mexican brothers into Michigan. They would come and, pick the fruit. But some brothers would do that work. And when my dad was coaching high school ball, one of his players, we went to one of them places where the migrants work. And these is like, I don't even know if the room was this big, but it didn't have no floor. It was mud. And we walked into the room. We walked into this little house, and the niggas was laying on the ground. Like it had blankets over the ground. It wasn't nothing in there but just to lay down. Wasn't no chairs, nothing. It was just a place to lay down. And that, I had cousins that was really poor, but that was the poorest I ever saw. I'm like, Dad, what? And, they had a place where water, they had outhouses, but they was picking, picking fruit. But living in these little shacks while they wasn't picking fruit. They was living in these little shacks with dirt floors. And this was probably 70, 71 around Covert, Michigan, which is near Lake Michigan. The dunes in Saugatuck, the dunes and shit. Michigan has some beautiful dunes. Southern Michigan. So, I saw some poor folks, really poor people. Hey, Big Stank, what's happening? And to be up this late, you definitely got to have
vision.
And we just know on the Galactic Patio, we only do one dance.
Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the cosmic slump.
But don't ever.
Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck. Don't touch my truck.
Don't touch my truck. Man, who you got winning the NBA? I think you asked me that earlier, McFat. I think you asked me that earlier. I'll say this might be the year for the Timberwolves. It really looks like it might be a year for the Timberwolves. So I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves. I'm gonna say that early pick. Again, I'll decide to, once after this tournament and see how this tournament plays out to read the script. But right now the script looks favorable for the Timberwolves. They have everything. They let Ant be Michael Jordan, but taller. I'd like to see Anna next to Michael Jordan because I think Anna is a little taller than Jordan. Jordan was more 6'5"-ish. He wasn't 6'6". There's a picture of my friend and Tyrone. Tyrone's 6'8", and Michael is at least 3 inches shorter than Tyrone. Like Michael's head wasn't even to Tyrone's shoulder, and Tyrone only 6'8". So Michael seems to be like 6'5"-ish. But Ant, they let Ant tear the league up. And they're playing what I had said. When Rudy goes out, they bring in Nash. Nash plays center. They giving letting Towns play the four. And when he's not the clown, because Towns is the clown. He went in them rooms. Towns, you can tell Towns went in them rooms. He had them commercials. He done went in them rooms. But anyway, he plays the clown. But when he doesn't play the clown, he can really hoop. And he seems happier. And Nas is a natural, even though Nas is shorter than Towns, Nas can shoot as well. I say that's my early pick right now. But again, I'll make a different decision once we see how this tournament goes. So, shoot. Thank you. The truth of eternity is life experience. And okay. Oh, this is what I want to get into. Okay. And I got into it a little bit, but I'll get into it again. Like we talk about music, and a lot of the murder music is just crazy because it is very low vibrational music. Cardi B's music, very low vibrational music. But sometimes there's, and this is like even the murder music of Chicago, the way they call it, the trill music. Even that kind of murder music, some songs become catchy. But like when you become, and I guess this is like really higher kind of ability in some ways, but it's like some people get caught up, with the boogeymans everywhere. Like the music is so boogeymanish. But it's like if you draw that in, you bring that to me. But this is what's so beautiful about music. It's like you could be listening to a certain song and a tune comes, and that tune comes and you just jump on that tune. Like the rest of the song is irrelevant. You are you are like with that tune. And I guess if you don't have the power to do that, I guess you would, like, even though the music is low vibrational, it's still music and it's still creative. And so does music have an agenda? Yeah. But just like, okay, this is my best example to tell you how there's a balance in the arts. The arts gives a balance because what the arts do is it show a movie, Matrix like shit, and then they'll show Dark City. But and then they'll show, the regular, movies. They kind of looks like the arts have to play every sides. That's what it appears like. It appears like the arts have to show both sides. So when you look at certain entertainment, you don't always just see one angle of the agenda. They show other possibilities in the books, movies, television. And so you can't really say that the arts is just pushing at you from one way. So it's the same as music. Just like every movie ain't by the beast. It seems like there's some kind of equal or some kind of agreement where it can just be released. And music is the same way. So yeah, there's a lot of music that Who Killed Tyrone, they put it on and everybody starts spinning. But there's other music that appears to be free. Now, I don't know if I said this the other night, but that Andre 3000 music seems very high vibrational. I mean, it took me on such a deep. I mean, it's like, because, my wife is doing, she works from home. So, she's doing, and so, I throw the headphones on to get a little peace. And I found nothing in that music that wasn't positive. I found no attacks. Now I know what attacking music is. I found, these singing bowls I have. I found on the phone singing bowls. And that was the last time the money witch had tried to attack me. She sent some people through that shit. The money witch sent some motherfuckers at me with them singing bowls. Here I am, and just like I'm enjoying the singing bowls. And all of a sudden, I'm in this court, and I'm like, oh, here these motherfuckers come. And I gave them I think, what do you call it? Iron Man blast. And that's just fun. When you Iron Blast, I don't even know what you call them, henchmen. When you Iron Man blast a henchman and you watch him fly across the field and shit, that's some fun shit. And she hasn't fucked with me since then. So there are things that can draw that out. You dig? That can be drawn out. There's things that you can listen to. It's shit's attached to it. It's like you can even have a massage. I had a massage, wasn't protected, didn't have my shit. This motherfucker, I kind of started trancing. This Oriental man jumped into trance. I was like, he didn't want nothing, but he jumped in it. Now, I don't know if it's energy from being there, but he definitely jumped into, my trance. And that's where, all the protection comes from and stuff. Because if you do something that makes you trance, you don't want a trance where it's just free you trancing. And that goes the same as daydreaming. It's the same. Your daydream can become a trance as well. You can get so fixated on the daydream. You're just staring in space and shit. It's a trance, though. So be aware of that. That's the same kind of trance. If you are one to daydream and openly daydream when you're around people, that can be dangerous because you're open. So be mindful of your daydreaming around motherfuckers. Because what you're doing is something's making you bored and you start transing. You start taking some interest in your mind. So be careful of where you daydream. Like on a bus ain't a good place to daydream. You want to be here now as much as possible because you're around a lot of minds and you don't know who has what ability or capabilities. So be mindful of that. If you're around people, if you want to daydream like that, be mindful of who you do it around. And trance, of course, but some people can trance as a daydream. So wanted to give out that warning. What time is it? Yeah, I don't think I need another beer. I think I'm satisfied. I should have brought some water up here. I didn't went for, okay, I'm going to go for 2 hours at least. Anthony Edwards, my dog, my favorite player. That's under 25, but I don't see them winning it. I say more KD, Booker, and the Suns. Well, again, you talking about the West. Like somewhere they want to throw in Boston, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know. There's something there where Boston, they're not letting those dudes go through. So I don't know. I think Tatum getting the commercials might be what he gets. I don't know if they're going to let them move through. Because to me, they would have let him move through. If they were going to let him move through, they would have let him, and they ain't let him move through yet. So and Embiid, I just don't see them. Like they want to get away from Embiid's style of play. That's the knock on Embiid. They want to get away from that style of play to have a big dude. I mean, look at Giannis play the way it compared to Embiid play. He's running up and down. At least he's handling. Embiid is the old center. Give it to me. Let me work. So I don't see them giving him one either. I don't see him being, 4-5-4. So that's why I say the Timberwolves are due. They're due. Just as we look at the Vikings, they ain't did it for the Vikings, but they did it for the Lynx. And the Wild haven't won one either. But I think the North Stars did. But they did it for the Lynx, and they did it for the what's the other one? The Twins. Twins have won the World Series twice. So I wouldn't be surprised. I like Embiid's style of play. I just think the league doesn't like that style of play. The league really wants to get away from that style of play. It's like Wemby already. Wemby's showing, because again, he's not used to playing as many games, and then the back-to-back games and the flying. I mean, this is his first Thanksgiving in America. Wemby. Think about it. Getting used to American food. I mean, it's a lot to get used to. So, but he's, and then look at them. What's their record? 3-13. They've lost what has the Spurs lost? 11 straight. Didn't the Spurs lose 11 straight? I think I read that tonight. 3-13. So, he ain't changing the league overnight. Chet Holmgren's playing way better. Chet's, and Chet has a year at the NBA under his belt. He didn't play because he damn near tore his Achilles. If he didn't tear it, I think he tore it. But, he worked on his body. And I'll say, Wemby looked bigger. He looked more defined. So it did look like they in his time between getting signed and the season starting, I think they put that boy in the gym. Just his neck looked a little like he worked on it a little bit. But again, you're going to lose all that once you start playing every day. you'll go to back, thinner because you're playing all the time. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, they're trying to hype up his height. He's the same height as Chet Holmgren. They're the same height, 7'3". They still, Kevin Gardner, he's 7'6", 7, because again, build up, trying to build him up more than what he is. So, lady, you build me up when I'm down. But, the rigors of all that playing. The first fun to watch and play right now. Oh, yeah. But their whole team, they got a lot of young cats that can play. So, I love that guard to try to get the Dennis Rodman look. But if you watch his game, he's a big 2 or 1. That dude, 6'8"? He played 2 or 1. So I like the way he can D, So whenever they give them, they've actually got a good cast around them if they keep everybody. And Popovich definitely going to be there. He just re-signed 6 years. So that cast around him is going to get better. So they doesn't have a bad cast around him. But it's, young cast. Young cast around him, still some dudes that ain't established and can't win every night. And that's what he's under. So we'll see how that works. That's what he's under. Am I going 2 hours? Nope, I got about 5 more minutes. But yeah, I don't mind. I like watching him play. I dig watching him play. I like, I like everything. I watch hockey. I watch everything. I like watching hockey. And again, I'm just belly. Damn. Keep me away from watching the hockey. I got to go buy some drinks to watch the fucking hockey game. So, I turned down. I could have went to see the University of Michigan play last Tuesday. I turned it down. I should have went. Now I think about it, I should have went. I probably mentioned that last time I was on. And we're going, Christmas Eve. Got tickets to Christmas Eve. And then we're going to a jazz concert the 16th of December. So December's going to be, we're going to have a lot of fun. We definitely going to have a lot of fun. Christmas Eve's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be me and my daughter and my oldest son here. So, and then my best friend and his children. We all going together. So we're all going to have fun. Drive down there and, eat good and eat junk and enjoy the game. Wearing Viking gear. I looked at the top at Target and this shit was $70. It was like something. I was like, I don't know. Like I like buying unique shit. And I'm looking at this thing like, okay, it's $70, but there's a nerd that also would buy this top. So would pay the $70 here. I was like, nah, I can't get this. I'll try to find more exclusive Viking shit. So, you go in there, but I don't know. I might just, me and my daughter, I might just wear the Cook jersey. No, it's going to be a little chilly then, but we ain't going to got far to walk between, to go to the stadium where you park. It ain't far. So, oh shit, I got these. That's right. So it's a lot to look forward to, as we come into the solstice. I'm looking, we got the full moon. Well, what is it? Yeah, the 29th. So I have to see what time it comes in. This comes in Tuesday, either Tuesday night or Monday night. But the 29th is the full moon. And this is a powerful full moon because this full moon precedes the solstice. So this is going to be a lot of energy coming in for those of you that are, that you can, feel it. It's a lot of energy this time of year, but especially this full moon leading into the solstice full moon, that's only 20 days away. So, better. And so, be aware of that. Those of you that are sensitive to these things, so, when you meditate and have your free time or, and that's, I don't know, you got to figure out a way to meditate, and that ain't pushing a religion on anybody. And all meditating is, having like quiet in your mind, because so often everything we do, your mind is active other than when you sleep. But what meditation is it's a way of giving yourself deep rest, healing your mind, working with your mind, and then going outside the scopes of what normal reality teaches you. See if you can reach those peaks and those valleys while you're still aware. Because when you dream, you ain't aware. But when you meditate, you're still aware. Again, it's like most transing, it's easy to come out of trance. Somebody bother you can come out of it, but that's, that's what happens. You trance. And, you trance by yourself. It was interesting is, you should trance to the east, just like the Muslims pray to the east. You should meditate to the east as well. The energy seems to move like that. And I'm not saying you can't face other directions, because there's a direction every day. Like really, if you follow South America and what the Aztec wrote in, and more of the Mayan and the Omen, more of what their script and their calendar, it's a direction for every day. The directions change every day. Now, if you follow that, you can get some energy out of that. But if you don't follow that, it's the energy seems to move from where you're sitting to the east. So you can find out and again, you can do it the way the Mayans would do it too. I've done that before too. I look at, what direction is of the day when I follow it closely. And then I'll set myself and all my guards around like that. Yeah. So when they came at me, I get my Chinchilla, the Black Panther swag. I see why you're big on your girl, Paige Blackers. I like her. I'll pick her over. Yeah. Oh yeah. Paige can go. Paige ball handling, I think, is just as nice. Paige just had them injuries. She had a couple of back-to-back injuries. The one girl that was the year before Paige, she got re-hurt. Remember, she had just came back last year and was playing this year. That girl got re-hurt. She was like one of the top recruits when she graduated in the country. She was the number one recruit, and she's had nothing but pain up there, playing up there. So, remember Rebecca Lobo? Remember, she only played 1 year in the WNBA and tore her knee up. That's why she started announcing. So, but yeah, Paige can hoop, and Paige is from Hopkins. Saw her play a few times. Yeah, the games, I think the Chanhassen won the big conference here, their first time winning the title. And that's where, Prince was living, in Chanhassen. That's where you got to go to see his place. It's Prince, I think it's 5, but 5, they name 5 by his house. It's called Prince Avenue or some shit like that. But I think it's off of 5. Like my brother-in-law doesn't live that far from where Prince lives, where his place is. And if you want to see all the, I think last month or month before, my daughter's mother went out there. So it's worth seeing. I've been out there a few times. It's worth seeing. It's expensive. They make you lock your phones up and shit. You can't take pictures of the shit, but you get to see that shit where he lived in and shit. So, and it becomes surprising how easy they got rid of him. But, it's people around here, they got it on with Prince. Said, he was a drug addict. He started having pain from, his vainness. Little dude, always wearing heels and dancing and shit with heels, fucked up his hips. Because he was vain, fucked up his health. And you know what happens when, like Michael, even Michael Jackson, when he burned his hair and shit, broke his nose. Like, he should have been not working with Pepsi. Michael Jackson broke his nose by falling, doing a Pepsi commercial, and Pepsi caught his hair on fire. The Jerry curl juice caught on fire. So, these dudes get these pain pills, and, if there's nobody to tell you no, like studying Elvis Presley, that's the ultimate where nobody ever told him no. He was getting pure cocaine where you could just dip the cocaine into a motherfucking Q-tip and put it up your nose. Liquid. That blue shit. Real cocaine is blue. Hospital grade cocaine, that shit is blue liquid. Because when my son got a twig in his eye, the lady brought that out. This shit was this little. She said, "This is really yours, but we ain't supposed to give it to you." This shit is blue. And the doctor came in and dipped that shit in his eye and took that twig out. Because what it does is it centers your eyes. Make your eyes not. That's how they can do eye surgery. Cocaine helps them do eye surgery because it'll make your eye not move. That's what they found the use for of it. When you had a Freud, talking about cocaine helps you, well, the motherfucker that got the cocaine used in the hospitals was the motherfucker that made cocaine useful. But Elvis used to get that shit, that blue shit. Well, I think this is gonna do it tonight. Thank you. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Sunday? I can't promise a Sunday show because I just get drunk all day on Sundays. No, not really. We've got some running around to do. I need to go to Mall of America, fix my chain. So I think I'm definitely gonna do that tomorrow. Shoot out there and it's still deals. Like it's still, and Christmas coming. That's the fake about Black Friday. Christmas is coming. You think they ain't trying to get sales with Christmas coming? They'll have 1 or 2 days like, well, you got to pay full price for this shit today, and then the sales be around Christmas coming. So it's gonna be sales. It's been said that Red Fox and Elvis put Ike Turner on cocaine. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like this is the sadness. Like, did anybody watch? I don't think I talked about this. Did anybody watch the Rick James special? That shit was outstanding. I mean, you really forget that how hard Rick was. People, when he said he was Rick James, bitch, he was that nigga. I mean, you and I was such a I mean, at least to me, that shit was a monster hit. Dude out of, especially out of being from Buffalo. But that was well put together, that special. But I talk about him and his generation, which is, my mom's generation in a way. My mom's 82. But like you look at my group called the Dramatics, it was like maybe 10 people that was once Dramatics, and 4 or 5 of them died of cocaine. You can just see died of heart attacks in their 50s. It was cocaine. Felipe Wynn that sang with the Spinners. He was in he sang Mr. Rubber Band Man. If you remember the song by the Spinners, he's the lead singer there, but he was with Parliament Funkadelic too. He dies on stage. Johnny Guitar Watson dies on stage. And we see like Rick, like you saying Ike Turner, like how he died. He was in a bed in his house. He was let me take that back. He was in a hospital bed. This dude is like dying. And somebody snuck in cocaine to him and knew he couldn't resist it. And he smoked that cocaine and he died. This is a true story. You can look it up. They don't tell you the person that gave it to him. I don't think they arrested the person, but somebody smuggled him in cocaine and he smoked it and he died. Now, Rick James, Rick James had a stroke. Went to prison, then Rick James had a stroke. Didn't quit smoking cigarettes. You see how puffy he is on them David Chappelle skits. That ain't Botox. That's puffiness from being unhealthy. But the music he made. I mean, they didn't even play Ebony Eyes with Smokey. Mary Jane Girls. I mean, all the songs he wrote for Tina Marie. I mean, this man was really brilliant. And like, if you ever watch them cartoons about, Parliament Funkadelic, Bootsy, there's one about Rick James and one of his bandmates. And they say they're performing somewhere and they go into one of the green rooms. And in the green room is Sly Stone, freebasing. He's supposed to perform, but he took his freebase with him and now he ain't leaving the room. He just freebasing. And they both walked out the room and they looked at each other and said, we'll never get like that. We know Rick James ended like that. And it put him in prison, that kind of behavior. And it shortened his life. And think about it, when would these be people? How bad they was eating, the sugar, the sodas, on top of the cocaine use. These people ain't eating good, just traveling all the time. Drinking, traveling, not eating good, and you using cocaine. And you seeing all these people dying in their mid-50s or 60s. And it's funny, they was even talking about Sammy Davis Jr., Little old dude started doing coke, and this dude had to be old when he started doing it. He was probably 60 in the 70s, and he was doing coke and shit. And he was a cigarette smoker like Red Fox, lifetime cigarette smoker. Red Fox died on set. Calling for his wife, that, and what's fucked up about Red Fox, he lost Sanford and Son in a divorce. He had to give his Korean wife Sanford and Son and all the residuals from it. That's how stupid he was. He had a thing for, Asian women. He'd marry them. Wasn't very smart, But you know, and Elvis, you know, they say Elvis took so many, you know, opiates that he couldn't shit. If he died, you know, it's hard to say. But you know, these people let money destroy them, and that's the other part. You know, Whitney Houston. You know, the money destroys you. I will soon get off on consultation on how to set up a portable podcast studio on my new Bluetooth JBL, as well as okay, that sounds cool. You know, right now you can get them Shure mics or it's a Rode mic. You can a Rode mic that's $99 right now. That's a pretty decent mic too. This one I think only costs $99. And this is a Fiduce. Fiduce, I think is how you say it. So yeah, it's not hard. I'm still got to set up the camera. We're still working on this room, you know, because we're gonna paint my daughter's room, and so we're still kind of setting the house up. Yeah, because I guess the goal is to still try to take this this out of here. So give me a little more room to work. Plus, I could interview up in here too. So I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out. Yeah, got to set up everything else. Yeah, now because yeah, I'm getting another phone. Yeah, pretty soon too, and I want to see how that shoots. And you know, I got to put the camera together. So I got it. I just need to put it together. Lazy as fuck. But yeah, it's you know, it's just all too good. Oh yeah, Rick was hard. I work with a woman that is from the same city as Rick, and she told me that Rick was with no that homo shit. No, he really wasn't. Yeah, he was a genius. You talk about that Mike Judge series, they cartoons, those are dope. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Mike Judge. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm talking. Yeah, those series. Yeah, Rick was very, very good at music. And it's just funny that, you know, it's like the same thing they did to Richard Pryor. They killed a lot of their creativeness by the dudes being drug addicts. You know, the guys didn't understand that that's what was happening to them, but it was taken away from their genius, taken away from their creativity. You know, again, you know, their creativity went into getting the drug. But what's interesting, you know, it looked like his son, you know, got and his daughter got bread. It looked like it. It looked like they got the bread. He had a daughter, a son and a daughter, two sons and a daughter, and you saw them both, all of them. It looked like his son owned the studio. So, you know, the family got the bread, which is good. It's good that happened. I really 2:30 in the morning. I don't want to drink another beer, but my throat is really dry. But that's you know that hit that generation hard. I think I will drink another beer. And you know, I'll say, you know, it's like I've seen a lot of people that, you know, people that my age compared to don't look nothing like me, you know. I don't know if I should talk, but yeah, I'll stay on that. But yeah, it's like it's funny. I have friends that are in wheelchairs and shit, you know, fucked up. You know, I talk about one friend, you know, and I hear that he's dementia in a wheelchair, but like he came home one day and found his mama hung, like she had hung herself. And like this dude was more of a drunk than a crackhead, but like he was like so fucked up out his mind. He like the numbers was his habit, you know, playing the numbers every day. This nigga was so high or drunk, he was frying chicken and realized he needed to get his numbers in and left the chicken frying and walked out the house and went to the store to play his numbers. Burned his fucking house down that his mother left him because she hung herself. And, you know, he had it tough after that. I didn't see him a whole lot. Once my children and shit was born, I really didn't see the cat a whole lot. Can't tell you what he was doing. But I know that happened to him. And that, you know, it's tragic. Come home and see that shit. That's some tragic ass shit. And it's funny, you know, he has the same American story a lot of us can say. Excellent hooper in high school. I would dare say my year, he was the best player that came out of my year. And really just didn't get the opportunity. Do what a lot of people, go to a junior college, play for a year, and it don't work out. You don't want to go to the class. Don't work out. Like, I look at the dudes who made all-state guards the year I played. One went to Alcorn. The other one went to Ferris State. It was like, like the Alcorn move was way less than where I played football. But the Ferris State move was like equal to mine. And two of the dudes that, I grew up with, they got to play there at the same time. Because all three of them was guards, so they must have been, but, two of them didn't stay. They didn't stay. And that's pretty common, where motherfuckers get to the point like me, when I finally quit playing football, I was like, shit, fuck this shit. Playing the semi-pro, got to tape yourself. I'm using my work insurance if I got to go to massage or get hurt or something. I had to buy my own equipment, well, I probably had an A&T helmet, probably had A&T equipment I stole. But I'm just saying, it's a big step down. And, ain't nobody hardly, like when you hoop and you play Winter League, ain't nobody in the gym. Can you imagine playing football like that? Maybe your children and the wives is watching. Ain't nobody watching, you see? But yet your love and trying to keep the thing going, you got to play these games. Can you smell me? You talk about game of life. Okay. I will upload future comment on that channel. Okay. All right, I'll snatch that out. All right, I'll snatch that out. And we'll work it out, bro. I mean, yeah, we'll definitely work it out. I got to call you. I'm sorry I haven't called you. I get to fucking around all day. Got a million things to do. Life has calmed down, though. And I tell you, one good feeling is we spent, I'll say not the rings, but we spent 12 grand on the wedding and we paid it all off already. We paid it off. So that's a good feeling. We both achieved that and everything is paid for. We paid everything off. We met everything. So, and now we got all buku gifts. Like, we bought the chairs and shit. And we got buku gifts. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. We got the chairs with the, money people gave us for our wedding. So that's kind of cool. Oh, let's see if we can fuck around. Let me see. Okay. Let's see if I can do something. Let's see. How did I do it before? I think it's this. Oh. Nope. Let's go there. No, it's not here. Let's see if I can. What? I don't see. Why not? Let's see. I don't know what the fuck this is. Oh, here it is. Oh, maybe. No, maybe not. No, more into the maybe not. Let's see. I don't even remember what the fuck I wanted to show. Let's see. No, this is the same old shit. Nope. Thought it was something new, but I don't think this is new. No, this is the same old bullshit. Huh. Yeah, this is not nothing new. Let's see. Will that bring up nothing new? Nope. Let's see. Oh, okay. I forgot what I was even looking for. Don't even remember what I'm looking for now. Nope. I don't think. Nope. I don't even remember what I was looking for. Some old shit. Ah. But I guess I'll end in a few minutes. I can still blab. I drank this beer and talk. I guess the best message I got is, stocks. What is it? 1 point. Ooh. Man, if y'all didn't make no money for Michigan today, I don't know what y'all was thinking. They was giving up. They only gave up 3.5 and they won by, was it 6? Y'all should have made some money today. I definitely made some money. So everybody should have been on it. You and Sly both need to call me. Some interdimensional matters, seriously matters, will be affected our people. No, okay. Okay. Oh, maybe here. Yeah, it's not doing what I needed. It did it a minute ago, but it's not doing it now. Huh. Let's see if it's here. Oh, it's not here. All right. Oh, well. Oh, excuse me. I had OSU 11.5. What? Really? You had OSU and you gave up. Oh, you had 11. Okay. Oh, then you won. You hit 2. You got somebody give you 11? Damn. Or they gave up 11. No, you got 11. Ooh, you got 11. Oh shit, you won. I would have took that. You should have called me. I could have took some of that. You got 11. Dang. So you won. That's a good deal. That's the way you should do it. That is a real good deal. Let's see. That is a real good deal. It definitely ain't there. Yeah, all my boys hit too. My one boy, he's like, man, I'm glad I talked to you. I hit too. These people talking that shit. And I hit. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Everybody calling me today. You know, I'm posted up on Facebook. Me and my daughter's posted up. You know, my daughter, as I said, my daughter wants to go to Ohio State, so she was mad. And you know, that's man, I've literally watched Michigan play, like Michigan, Notre Dame, Michigan State, Western Michigan. I've watched them play since I was a little boy, you know. Like the first college game I went to was Western Michigan when I was like 3, I think, 3 or 4. And then when I was like 8 or 9, I had cousins like that played at Western. One of my cousins played pro football briefly, but Roosevelt was when I was in 2nd grade, Roosevelt was playing at Western. And then when I was trying to think, Big Red, how much older was Big Red than him? Bernard, his brother Bernard. Bernard was only 2 or 3 years later. He didn't make it to the pros, but Bernard was he's a bigger cat. He played defensive end. It was cool because, you know, it's like, I try to think, like, where did I follow him? So it was like we were able to follow the players. Maybe we just followed them to the locker room. And, you know, it's like, what's up, cuz? He's like, oh, little cousin. And Roosevelt used to always come by and see me. You know, we'd go see Roosevelt. He'd give us tickets when he played at Western. So, you know, football has been my thing for a long time, you know, watching live games. And, you know, when you break down, I learned in 10th grade how to break down film. And that's, you know, the biggest argument I would say with anybody. You know, I've been breaking down film since 77. Consistently every year breaking down film. I mean, TV's been around for a long time. You know, like think a lot, you know, video recorders was around 40 years ago where you could record a game, stop, rewind, stop, rewind. So I've had that capability for 40 years. Now, a lot of you that do what I do and break down games, okay, I've been breaking down games since that long. So you think, I come up with these theories about the way that the games are fixed. I mean, this is like a lifelong study and film study. And and let me now remind you, Roger Goodell, the way he got his job is he came up with the tuck rule. That was his idea. They was panicking because they hated Al Davis. The script did not have the Raiders going to the Super Bowl. And Roger Goodell looked in the book and said, hey, this is something ain't never been used, but we can use this today. He made up a rule. He made up a rule. And so if that doesn't prove to people that the NFL is fixed, and in Brady's whole career, I show a video of how, Drew Rosen, whatever his name was, got hurt on purpose so Brady could play. And let me remind you who Brady was in college. Did you see they said that people that at least beat Ohio State twice? Did you notice Brady's name wasn't on there? Now, I don't know. I don't think Brady ever beat Ohio State because he probably wasn't playing. Brady was a backup. Drew Henson, Brady would start and Drew Henson would play the second half. Look at Drew Henson's career. He got drafted higher than Brady got, and he didn't have a great career. Look at Greasy. Greasy was the one that was the man when Brady was there, not Brady. So this nobody was an invention of Goodell, his Michael Jordan. That's what he turned Brady in, to his Michael Jordan. They wanted to equal to Michael Jordan in football, and that's what they did. There's no equal to Michael Jordan in baseball, hockey. Gretzky, I guess you could say. But there's no other sport that tried to equal what Jordan did. Do you think it's, think about it like that. Don't you see what they created there? They had to have, so they created their own version of Michael Jordan, but in a different sport. He saw what was working in the NBA. So he did it with Michael. He did it. He saw how they was pushing one. So he did it with Brady. Fixed the games around Brady. And again, Marshawn Lynch always makes fun and shows you the fix. But he don't complain too much when we got the little man in Denver, Russell, throw that interception. And if you watch me for any time, my best friend Tony will tell you this. He was sitting at the house with me. And when they lined up, and I said, they're going, after Lynch done got, 12 yards? He was at the 20 and ran down to the 2 or 3. Remember that? Lynch got 12 yards to play before. So you just know they giving it to him. And when they lined up, I thought to myself, they're going to pass? I said that out loud. I looked at him and said, they're going to pass? I saw it was a passing formation. And just like I talked about the other night, watching Tampa Bay with Gronk. Watched a few, I was like, okay, they like running Gronk underneath. I've sat there, you look at my YouTube or my thing 2 years ago whenever Tampa was in, and I called that. I was like, oh, Gronk about to run underneath and get a touchdown. Now, if I can see the formation, and out of that formation, this is what they're about to run, you telling me these dudes that do it all day don't know that? I looked at the formation and I called it out live. I said, oh, they about to run Gronk underneath. Go back and check it out. Go back and look at my live Super Bowl. I called that play. And sure enough, that's what happened. But my point is, you telling me ain't nobody on the other side of the defense think the same thing. If that's what you study all the time, and your aim is to stop the other team, you sure are going to stop Gronk underneath, slow as he was back then. After being beat up all them years with that bad elbow and everything. So if I can see it, they can see it. And just like the dude who got the Super Bowl, the Russell threw the ball to, he threw it to that dude. He threw it behind enough where the receiver really couldn't get it. Because remember, it was a little bit behind him, but the dude knew to play. They show you on Hard Knocks or something that they had practiced against that play. They tell you they practiced against that play in the preseason. That was a play they saw in the preseason. They worked against that play. So you telling me you showed them that in the preseason, and that's what you generally run out of that twins formation, or maybe it was a trips. I can't quite remember. That they, you played them before. You ain't got nothing new on the goal line. and you just ran your fullback, your halfback up the middle, and they can't stop it. So if no sane person, and they start with the cover stories. The offensive coordinator wanted Russell to be the MVP. They called it so if Russell threw another touchdown, Russell would be the MVP. We didn't want Marshawn Lynch. No, that's not what common sense football would do. You just didn't stop me. Think about how linemen are and how people are. I done knocked the fuck out of you a few minutes ago. I'm about to knock the fuck out of you again, and we get in this end zone. And the way players be like, fuck that. If you throw that motherfucker, I'm going to tackle you in the backfield. You better give me that bitch so we win. That's what a real man would say. Look, you better give me that. And all the linemen be like, fuck that. Fuck that pass play. Motherfucker, we done knocked these motherfuckers back. So that's how it works, and it's not real. They made it up to the Raiders next year, just them in time in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think John Elway was underrated, and that's where he became the face of the league. Yeah, we're gonna beat the Chiefs. I think the Eagles could beat the Chiefs this time. I'll start and tell you what you think. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I gotta call you, and I'll call you because we've been playing with my nephew, and I haven't paid attention to it like I should. So yeah, I need to call you too because maybe you can. But I haven't played the last couple of weeks, so and I was doing good. Shit, I was doing real well. What was my numbers? Like this is the second week in a row I didn't do any picks, but shit, what was my overall numbers? I did picks up to week 9, 7, 8. Where's week 9? Week 6. Where's the rest of the picks at? Oh, I tore. Okay, there. I tore up papers. Okay, forgot I tore them out downstairs. Okay. So I was somewhere I got overall. Which paper is it? Yeah, one of these papers I had overall, and I don't see it. It was separated. But like the last week I did, week 9, I went 10-3. I went 10-3 week 9. And that was kind of what I was averaging. Is this all the picks? Oh, okay, yeah. I was 42-18. Up through week 9, I was 42-18. So I think that's what I added up, 42-18. So but yeah, I need to rap to you. You could probably hit me to a little something. So I'll call you. Give me a schedule. Shoot me what hours would be cool to call because I know you's a hardworking man, and I definitely owe brother Bishop Mack a bone to call. So, well, I guess I'm gonna cut it here. Yeah, me and my wife stay up. She get to watching that shit for that Zeus shit. That shit is so funny. I see Marvin Harrison Jr. getting the same script that Peyton Manning got. Both of them couldn't beat one team in college. Peyton, Florida. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And remember, they get when they go to pros, they get rewarded. They get rewarded, for that. Peyton was surprising he went to Tennessee. It was even more surprising where his brother went, but his brother had less talent. Peyton had a lot more talent. Like that, when Peyton threw that interception, like first of all, Hank not to get the fumble recovery. He got paid by, his wife had a show. He was on the show for a while, so Hank got paid for missing that fumble. But Peyton, again they gave him one. The second one he couldn't even throw. Remember that he couldn't even throw. That was one of the most scripted ones when Peyton won. Remember Offlinger, the big tall dude that's now doing, color. That dude came and played 3 or 4 games. Peyton just couldn't throw, and he never, even if you look at Peyton, he didn't have a strong arm in college. But Peyton did have a quick release. He has some receivers that was fast. So, back shoulders, they getting by people. Reggie Wayne has speed. Marvin Harrison had good speed, consistent catching the short balls and moving with it. So, he played with, and then he had, Hall of Fame. He had a Hall of Fame receiver and he had a Hall of Fame back in James, had Everett James at his peak. So, he didn't see that was probably like the way they scripted Dan Marino. He never had a back. He never had a back to balance, and he was just, having to throw every time. And even his best year was what, his second year when he went to the Super Bowl. He had Duper and Clayton, but he never had a running back. And so it was hard for them to, and Shula always tried to get a running back, but they always had him scripted to fumble. So, he never, he only made it to the Super Bowl one time, and he was probably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. The release was he was one of the closest, to Joe Namath. Like Joe Namath, the what made him miraculous was his release. Despite him shouldn't have been a Hall of Famer, they only won a Super Bowl, so people would accept the AFL. That's why the Kansas City Chiefs won their first one. That's why the Jets won their only one, is to be accepted, so people would accept them. But Joe Namath threw the most pick sixes. I think Brady broke that record. But that's what I think. No, maybe not. Maybe Joe Namath still has the most pick sixes in the NFL history. But his release, his release. And only 3 people had that quick release like Joe Namath. It would be, again, Marino and then Jeff George. And I mean, I don't know why they didn't love Jeff George. His release was just like Joe Namath and Marino. I mean, he had one of the prettiest releases of all quarterbacks. And they wouldn't let him, they fuck with him, gave him poor coaches. And for some reason, they didn't give him the key, the key of success. They gave him misery. And even the dudes, like the dudes they try to call bust, like they, there's like they act like there's just one simple story. Now I think the dude Russell that played with the Raiders, I think he really just got paid, and he wasn't mature enough. I think he got something like $30 million being a number 1 pick. And that's like, you don't need a lot of, and even after taxes, you still get a lot of money. And that can kill a lot of motivation to try to get hurt and memorize all this shit. So you can see in Ryan Leaf, the same kind of thing, it's not an easy job. And when you get thrown in the fire like that and, you're around not very talented and the script calls for you to get racked up, it's hard to be successful because they act like individuals is by themselves. Like what they try to say about Kwame Brown, like he was by himself. Yet he played for what, 14, 15 years? So that's not a bad career. But I hope everybody finds joy and bliss. I hope you can manifest what you want to manifest. Because it can come true. It can happen to you. And I guess I want to harp on this one more time. So like, I guess this is the best way I can say it. Learn your own mind and take all the information in, but have, something that can sift, out of what truth applies to you and what knowledge you can use. Because we all are sums of, much bigger parts. Parents, friends. I mean, how many athletes where, you had another athlete to look at and you say, okay, I can pattern my game after him and probably be successful. I can do some of the things that he can do. And that's what we all are. We all are those parts. And we are the painter. You really, you write your own story. And like a book. It's not like Genie, you write the story and boom. No, like a book, it flows. And then it comes to you what you have written what you've wanted to manifest. Like you watch all the forms, all the book pages come together. And then when it's that turn of the page where you manifest, everything is set up and it just comes to you. I mean, it really is that easy. And if you're getting it like that, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. And it's success and manifestations. It's a maturity thing as well. Are you ready to? Are you mature enough to take this as a real, you know, and this is what the young don't understand is like the sacredness of this existence. The young don't seem to understand that just the very existence every day is just valuable. The young don't seem to understand that each moment is valuable. Just as you sitting there listening to me, I hope what I'm saying to you is valuable, just as me saying it, I hope is valuable. And what young people don't understand is it seems to be, and I mean, people in their 20s and like 15 to 20, they don't seem to understand the value of things anymore. They're swayed very easily. And you don't see a lot of free thinkers. And I guess that's the word, like people that think for themselves. And maybe, free thinkers too catchy, but it seems like that, where a lot of people aren't really, don't know they're even their own thoughts. And can't tell the difference between attachment thoughts and your own thoughts. Because believe me, attachments will be there if you don't get them off you. Yeah, I've told the story many times. I remember like getting into with my wife, and I'm like, I really need you to say some shit to hurt her. And like, tell the bitch, something out the background just said, tell this bitch you hate her. Like, I hate you. And it's like, where'd that come from? It was like that thought came from outside. It was like something told me to say that. You understand? Why do I have this? It's Tina Turner's birthday. Okay, that's funny. That is funny to me. No, sleep till Brooklyn. What is this? They are such bullshit. Oh. Huh. That didn't do it. Okay. But as Richard Pryor said, get as much sun as you can get, a lot of it. And that's the same way as joy and happiness. Get as much joy and happiness as you can. And that's, unfortunately, the celebration, the ritual we just went through is not about joy and happiness. It's about the opposite. And, the Dick Gregory says it best about the next ritual that's coming, with Krampus, with Krampus coming. It's like Dick Gregory said that his mother had to work 2 jobs every day, working 18 hours every day, and then got to give the credit to a European. And that's the propaganda. Like your parents can't do it, but this strange European all of a sudden likes you. Just think about that during Jim Crow. They're telling you that they don't like you, but yet Christmas comes, all of a sudden they like you. One of theirs comes and drops you some gifts off. You're not getting any credit for the hard work you did to provide for your children. The propaganda told you had to tell your children a lie. You had to lie to your children for the greater good of society. make the children believe in an illusion. I mean, what's interesting is when you go to trick or treating, ain't no special person, it's the people giving you the candy. So why do children think it's any different than your parents? Why is that taught to people? Especially melanated people. Why do they teach, crumpets to melanated people? Why do melanated people fall? Because that ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. Jesus ain't the one delivering gifts. The real Saint Nicholas was a Turkish dude. He was Turkish, wore green. He didn't wear blood red. He wore green. Look him up. Look up Saint Nicholas. He wore green, not blood red. So, you inviting crumpets into your house. you giving up your children to crumpets. If you lying to your children like that, and then they say, well, they're too young. No, it's propaganda. You're not good enough to bring gifts to your children. That's what society is telling you. You're not good enough to give gifts to your children. It's only special if you tell your children that it comes from the fat European. Crumpets. Who kills bad children, if you remember? You read the real story, not the goofy movie. So, it's not worth lying to them. We're being tricked. And, our children don't trust us because they know we lied to them. Think about it. Why I trust them? They lied to me about that Christmas shit. They lied to me about the Tooth Fairy shit. Why should we trust them? We know they'll lie to us. Right? Why should we trust them? You lie. And you ain't never, broke your parents down about Christmas. Why you lie to me about Christmas? Well, that's what my parents did. That's what their answer would be. That's what my parents did. I asked my grandmother, why you lie about Christmas? Well, that's what my parents did. So, it's generational propaganda. I think it's kind of dying out now. Children are more sophisticated. And this thing here. I chew the hell out these things. I bought this thing early. Probably sucked all the tobacco juice out of it. I just love tobacco. I don't smoke it, but I like chewing on them. Especially these sweet blindies. Well, I guess I could go on, but why? I'm just having fun. What is it? 3? Okay. And the first game comes on 11. I don't think it's no morning game. No, 12. I ain't got to get up to 12. I get up at 11:30, so I'll get plenty of sleep. Let me see. And when Peyton won his first Super Bowl, it was against the Bears. Yep. The quarterback came from Florida, and Marvin Harrison was on the same team. For Harrison's son, I see winning a Super Bowl against a team star player from Michigan. Oh, that's a good point, especially the quarterback. That is a good one. Wow. That is outstanding. That's an outstanding breakdown. Damn. That is an outstanding breakdown. That's something that we're going to have to mark here on Wax on November 26th. We've got to mark that we're going to say that the Michigan quarterback or a Michigan quarterback is going to hook up with Harris or a player from Michigan and win a Super Bowl. I think we've got to give that on Wax to Lorenzo, and I think it's going to happen that way. I think it's exactly going to happen that way. That's a great breakdown. Damn, that's a great breakdown. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think you're onto something there. That really could be what's going to happen. Well, my beer is low. And sports is my life, but so is my family. My family is my life as well. And I've taken fatherhood. I've taken fatherhood very seriously, and I think I've done what a father should do, for my children. I've done the best I could do. And so the best thing you can do is live life without any regrets. And if you do have regrets, let them go. Because it's, it's you're living in a past moment. Or you can, channel the regret energy into something else. But don't just let it sit there and don't let it dominate. And you definitely don't want it to be your last thought. The last thoughts you shouldn't have is, I need more time, or I regret this. That should not be your last thoughts. You will not push out, into your crown. When it's time to go, you just, okay, let's go. Your consciousness that's all you need. Your consciousness doesn't hold any of that baggage of attachment. It's free from all that. It's you that's got to release all that. I mean, when the silver cord cuts, that's, it's the same thing. Like when you're born, you cut the energy from your mother. Well, this life, we're our soul or our spirit is tied to a silver cord. And when that cord cuts, you're born into something else. And that is literally how we're connected almost. It's like there's a silver cord to, what's our soul and what this thing is. And so it's when time for consciousness to move on, the silver cord breaks and you move on. It's that simple. And you're not looking back. That's what they tell you. Don't look back. There's some shit blowing up behind you. If you turn around, you turn into stone. But if you keep going and fuck it and ignore the shit, keep going. Ain't nothing back there. You already experienced that. What's coming next? And it's not taking memory to, death. It's taking consciousness. The consciousness is, it's nothing to stop that. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you with one thought. I'm going to leave you with one thought.
Don't touch my truck.
Two thoughts.
Don't touch my truck.
Maybe three thoughts.
Don't touch my truck.
Don't touch my truck. Well, thank y'all for joining me, listening to this old man. I appreciate it. And, it feels good to be old. But it feels good to interact with people, and I appreciate it. And, I try to come on as much as I can. It's still a newlywed, so, there's other things to do at night. Yeah. But, I've had my daughter since Wednesday, so, enjoying her being around, and even though she gave me some attitude, it's okay. She ended up enjoying the movie. So, am I at 3? No, I guess I can go about 8 minutes. Okay, let me ramble on a little longer. Oh yeah, no, Lorenzo, that is we've got to have that in wax, because I think we're going to see that sooner than we think. We're going to see that combination. Too bad we can't bet on that kind of thing. Maybe we can bet on that kind of thing. We'll see. Because they come in that situation. And that's the good thing about what we're doing now is make some money off this. We're saying all this stuff is fixed. Well, find the fix and look at how they do it. And damn, that shit was loud as hell. and figure out how they do it and make money off it. Because it's all entertainment, and now they're with the gamblers. Again, we've got to beat the egghead dude in the room. That's all. And I think I was kicking his ass. When I was keeping track, I was kicking his ass. I did decent. I did decent against them. I mean, that last week, week 9, I think I was 10-3. So, it's something I'm seeing. So, and that's what it is to catch what they're trying to do and see it, and we can make some money on that. So, with that said, I'm going to let everybody go. I appreciate you watching. Till we meet again, definitely say less. Enjoy your Sunday. And, if I don't come on tomorrow night, I will be on full moon. Well, let's look that up. Where's my phone? Let's look up when the full moon is. Oh, well, we'll look it up for everybody. need full moon. Next full moon in 23. All right. So what we have is the Beaver Moon will shine bright this weekend. The moon will be at its most full hours early Monday when it reaches full crest at 4. Oh, now. No, Monday. Okay. Oh, so maybe I will come on tomorrow night. So, wow, the energy's coming tomorrow night. Okay, so yeah, I'll be on at 12. I'll do a full moon thing. Huh. Tomorrow's the 28th. Okay, so it's... Let's see what they say here. Freezing moon. What is this? The freezing moon. No, it goes by frost moon, freezing moon, or beaver moon. I said the beaver moon gets its name from beavers who build their winter dams at this time of year. Why the fuck they need to build a dam? Okay, now look at this shit. Look at this shit right here. NASA reports that the last full moon of 23, a cold moon, will occur on Sunday, December 26th. Oh, the last full moon. Okay, that's next month. That's not this one. That is not this one. Oh, here we go. This is more precise. Hopefully. Okay. Continue reading. So the 30th. So yeah, see how the energy is here? These. Bigger, yeah. These here. So the energy will hit in right there, 26, 27, 28, and 20. So now we're kind of coming into this energy. This energy is starting to kick in. What time? Say north of Jupiter at 6 a.m. However, observers in the halfway have to look a little earlier in the morning around. Oh, okay. This is where the 4 a.m. to catch their closest. Oh, okay. So tomorrow morning, if you have clear skies, you'll see Jupiter. But it's Sunday morning right now. So I think they're saying right now. It's cloudy here. So what is it? Sunrise in about 3 hours. Sunset is 4:30. Moonrise at 3:26. Yeah, okay. Moon set, moon phase. Yeah, 4 a.m. right the fuck now. Yeah, right the fuck now. We're in the peak. Moon passes north of Uranus at 4. Yeah, right now. So right now we're in the full moon phase. So, well, least I can do is burn some sage. All right, we can get some of this energy now. I'll send some energy out. All right, we look to every direction. We look to the east. We look to the north. We look to the west. We look to the south, above and below. And the thing about the moon is, it's the thing of manifestations, holds a lot of memory. And it can be female or male. A little bit of both for opinions. But I think this is free. It moves. So no matter what it is, it moves. And it does give off energy that can be used. So regardless what it is, we sit here in this energy that is freely given to help us manifest, to help us be the best that we are. We look at Hathor, we look at the 7 Hathors, we look at Mu, and we give thanks to this divine feminine energy that we've been lucky enough to be associated with. And so as we move, we let this energy move us to make us our best selves. And let each and every one of us oh, okay. Here it is. Is it 4:16? So tomorrow night. Well, we're still giving it out tomorrow morning. Okay, so this clarifies it. It's tomorrow at 4:30. Yeah, I'll come on tomorrow. I should be able to. So, but we'll still have the good vibes today because it's 4 days before and 4 days after, baby. So, love to you all. May you all manifest what you need to be successful. And success comes a lot of different ways, you know. That you get to wake up every day and make your own choices. Another free will people back, yeah, that's free will. No, it's not free will. Free will is a trick. Don't get me on that. But free will is a trick. But every day you get to wake up and do what the fuck you want to do. And you can work and still do what the fuck you want to do. And you can work well and do your job. But really, when it comes to it, you're just doing what the fuck you want to do. That's the last thing. When I worked at the library, I'd be high in the motherfucker. I'd take some of them fucking 170 milligrams per and be in that motherfucker tripping and just being able to do what the fuck I want to do. And that's what makes life good. Whatever you do, you kind of do what you want to do. And, you know, it's like what you're doing is your specialty. You know, there's specialty at the time. So the way we are, we're good at it. So be good at what you do. All right, it hit the 3 hours. So I should come on tomorrow. It's hard to say. You know, I got a wife and my daughter, so it's hard to say, but I'll try to come on so we can be up for the full moon energy tomorrow.